Well, what am I getting out of it? Dude, it doesn't track my fucking blinking. Is it? Alright. Shut up. Alright, now we gotta finally fucking do this George shit, dude. Just so I know. Dude, I want some fucking music, but I feel like, I don't know, kind of reading over Leo's document, like having music, it's just kind of distracting. Like, not, like, appropriate. But I always want to say fuck it anyways. Like, I guess it really just depends on the music. Oh my god, my nose. Oh, let me see. What kind of music do I want? What kind of fucking music do I want? Dude, there's really no appropriate music. I think, yeah, just fucking read it. Fuck it. Oh, shit. Okay, so I'm just gonna go right off the fucking jet. Right off the jump. Right off the jump. Dude. It's not registering me blinking my fucking eyes because I'm wearing the blue light glasses. So this is it. This is where I tell you everything. I don't want to. I don't have to. Well, I mean, this is like a long fucking document. It's 30-something fucking pages. Although, I mean, most of it is screenshots. So it shouldn't be like too long. But God, I don't like the formatting. I really don't like the formatting of this. It's just like giant blocks of text. I think we got as far as this, and this is just really setting the groundwork. Basically, this whole fucking introduction section is just them explaining how they got introduced to George. And from what I gather, they met George in the ACC. They first met George when they were 14. I know that. They first met George when they were 14. Okay, right here. Well, we could just start here because this is just more or less like groundwork. The dress. In this section, I will detail our interactions in that one area he used to groom me. There are multiples, so keep this structured as possible. I'll let you know when I'm moving on to another subject. When I first met George, I was 14 in 2017. Oh, bruh, I fucking just so bad at reading. When I first met George, I was 14. 2017 was the first time I met a lot of my other friends in the community I'm currently in, and some of my closest friends to date. Meeting him happened naturally as I got familiar with the friend group. We had mutual liking for the character Snow White and other things like Kingdom Hearts and so on. Snow White was one of my favorite Disney princesses at the time, and he shared that mindset. So it was something we bonded on every now and again. A popular thing George used to do was he would draw his friends and other fictional characters in Snow White dresses. I'm sure you're seeing at least one or more of these drawings with that theme. And when I was 14, he came to me, telling me he was planning to draw me in one. I was excited and felt very honored to have someone draw something for me, especially when it came to a Snow White drawing, because I knew George had liked her and drawing those things. I really didn't think anything of it, and I was happy. Luckily, I was contacted by one of my good friends, Gwen, which I am now clear on this. Gwen is Safi, that one person who made that fucking video that I had watched in my last episode. What the fuck am I saying? Video. Gwen is Safi, that fucking VTuber person. Minutes later, and she warned me not to let him do this. She forbid George from drawing me in the dress and told him to back off immediately. What I didn't know was that the dress were a form of kink for him, and I had no reason to doubt Gwen when she had said this because she was one of my closest friends at the time, and she wouldn't have cut in like this unless it had to do with my safety. I believed her and I got scared. And recent events would only prove her right. If you ask George about this, he will deny it and argue that the drawings are not sexual. It's just a hobby. And many others don't believe that for a second. But to me, it doesn't have to be straight up. For me, it doesn't have to be a straight up sexual thing because it's clearly something he finds appealing, meaning that drawing minors in such outfits still isn't okay. Which, like, him as an adult is weird as fuck that he's talking to a 14-year-old when he's like around this time, 2017. George must be, because George, I think, is my age. So around 2017, he's probably like 18 or some shit. I mean, I was 16 in 2017, but he's like older than me, I think, by like a couple years. I kind of wish I knew for sure, but still, either fucking way, you're an adult and you're talking to a 14-year-old. Like, if you're 18 and you're talking to a 14-year-old, like, what the fuck are you doing? Even 17, if you're fucking 17 talking to a 14-year-old, like on your NSFW-ish account, mind you, fuck that. Okay, that's insane. But to me, it doesn't have to be a straight up sexual thing because it's clearly something appealing. Blah blah blah. Okay. George was seemingly distraught about it. George was seemingly distraught about it all after Gwen had firmly told him not to do it and came to me profusely apologizing for making such a suggestion. He refused to go through with it, and I forgave him. Wait, and this is an interesting detail because I saw a sneak peek of George's response to Leo, and I think he published it in 2024. I need to find out how to. I need to figure that out. How to find out when that document was made, because the earliest archive that I could find, it says it came out in 2024, right? So I'm not too sure. But George was seemingly distraught about it after Gwen had firmly told him not to do it, and he came to me profusely apologizing for making such a suggestion. He refused to go through with it, and I forgave him because of how sad and hurt he was, and I felt really bad. That's the thing I do very easily. Feel bad, take blame, when deep down I know it wasn't my fault. Deep down I know I wasn't at fault. And it happened all throughout this incident as well. I would repeatedly feel awful when George came to me sad, hurt, apologizing over and over until I just started thinking that I was the problem, which he does have a pattern of doing. That is what he does. That is his way of fucking abusing people, is basically like trauma dumping and pretending to be a victim, threatening to kill himself and stuff like that because people don't worship the fuck out of him. People don't let him do things that he is being told he should not be fucking doing, right? Or like in the Cloud Palace, there's a message being referred to where George is like posting his art and no one's giving him any attention because it's fucking mid and looks retarded. And he starts fucking crashing out in the middle when people are just trying to have a talk about something else. And he's posting his art, and he wants people to pause their conversation to talk about his stupid, shitty little fucking art. And when that doesn't happen, he starts saying, well, I guess my art is really bad, and I have no place in this community, and I'm gonna kill myself. Like, please fucking do the world a favor, George. Holy shit, man. Classic manipulation. Yeah, it's like it's I mean, it's one of the more subtle ones because you don't really tend to pick up on it unless you've experienced that yourself. But yeah, no, I've seen this fucking shit before. The crying victim bullshit, it's so fucking annoying. Back to earlier this year, 2019, George and I were DMing a lot from his NSFW. I would say every week. See, this is why I don't like the formatting, because it's like my dyslexia is bad enough. Okay, it's bad enough, but it's like it ruins the flow of what I'm trying to fucking read when you don't like put a break in between here from his NSFW and then hit the enter key, right? To do a little enter key thing to move it. I would say every week. I'm very bad at instigating conversation, which leads to me going for weeks without talking to some of my friends. But George always messaged me first, and I appreciate that, and it made us grow closer as friends. When someone reaches out to me, it means the absolute world. So we talked often. And see what I mean? Fucking dyslexia. So we talked often, and eventually he asked me if he could draw me in the Snow White dress. I was confused. I didn't understand. So he was already told 2 years before not to do this because it is a fetish, and him apologizing to Leo at the time is basically a tacit admittance of like, it is a fetish. I should not be doing that. The fact he's not willing to defend himself here and say, well, no, it's not a fetish. It's completely fucking harmless. Why the fuck are you chastising me for this, right? The fact he's willing to concede immediately and profusely apologize and stuff like that, that tells me that at the very least he knows he's doing something wrong, because that's his defense mechanism. Anytime George gets confronted on something, that's what he does. When he's in the wrong, that's what he does. That's his tactic. When he's in the wrong, he cries and plays victim. So he knows that that's a sexual thing, and he's still fucking pushing it. He's still fucking pushing it on this fucking kid. They're 16 at this time. I didn't understand why he would even make a suggestion after what had happened last time. Last time when he swore he wouldn't try something like that again. At this point, I wasn't in contact with Gwen after some complications that aren't exactly relevant here, so I won't bring them up. Our relationship has recovered since then, though. So I couldn't message her and tell her that it was happening again. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the only reason he felt as though he could ask again was because I wasn't talking to Gwen anymore. He knew he wouldn't be called out because he knew I would never do that to him. That's just my theory, though. It's like a reasonable assumption too, because like the tactic clearly fucking works, considering he's done this to Leo multiple fucking times. He knows this fucking tactic works. I didn't know what to tell him. The memory of what happened last time, how sad he was, how much of it upset him to be told off. Now, how hurt he was when Gwen and I had to put our foot down, ran through my head. He has this habit that he himself admits to of going to negative extremes when he's upset or depressed. He starts beating himself up in front of people, and this was what led me to constantly feeling that I had to forgive him. I had to let him do things that were not okay because otherwise he would be sad. More on that later. But to summarize, I gave him permission to draw it because I didn't want him to go full on self-destruction mode. And again, if you want to put blame on me for giving consent to it being drawn after the clear warning signs the first time, then fine, do that. Well, Doodle Tones apparently took that as a sign of approval. Like, okay, I will just say that, well, you asked for it and you didn't set your boundaries. Minor child, you didn't set your boundaries to this adult. I'm someone who will throw myself under the bus for my friend. To me, I'm a worthless piece of garbage and my friends are actual saints. It's always been like that, and I don't think it's changing anytime soon. That's why I said yes. The first time. The first time. The second time he drew me wearing a Snow White dress, I had no idea until he sent the image to me. He didn't ask or even let me know. He just did it. Bro. I'm glad you really liked it. Oh, so pretty. Yeah. He got his very own Snow White dress IRL one day, and it confused a lot of people, myself included. After asking, he told us that it had nothing to do with his gender identity or him being trans. Well, it could just be like a femboy or whatever the fuck. He just wanted the dress to look pretty in it. This was in hindsight very telling, or just AJP. This was in hindsight very telling that the dress was yet again a thing that he found appealing and just more proof of it being a kink. I could see the argument for that. He cross-dressed as his kink and took pictures of it, and he would upload. It just sounds like a fetish. When you do shit, it just sounds like a fucking fetish, right? Like if you're gonna go out of your way to specifically seek out that kind of clothing and put it in, and then draw other people in it on your fucking NSFW-ish account, an account that isn't readily available to the public, an account that was supposed to be private and under wraps, and that is your explicit fucking interest that you're trying to keep away from the general public, it sounds like it's a fucking kink, okay? And it sounds like you didn't want to call it a kink because Snow White is a fucking child, and it would, like, come off as really, really fucking bad. Found it appealing, more proof. He cross-dressed the kink and took pictures of it. He would upload pictures of himself wearing Snow White dresses on his NSFW every now and then, but he also sent them directly to me. And the number of photos I got from him wearing the dress was almost 10 times the amount he posted on his timeline. And this was a detail that Doodle Tones fucking nitpicked at. It's like, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Because he fucking deleted the account after fucking Leo started calling him out, right? Or after he got the word that Leo was drafting this fucking document, he fucking started scrambling and deleting everything. And you can see him doing that. That comes up in a second, I think. Or that comes up later in this document. Because Leo shows him not only admitting to have done that, but deleting it. Like, That's why it's not there, retard. Like Doodle Tones just deliberately took this document and maliciously plucked at certain fucking things about it to push skepticism, to push, I guess, like an unjustified skepticism to her viewers, to try and justify bringing George back and calling Leo a fucking liar. Disgusting fucking bitch, dude. Never got timeline. It was very much a weekly thing for him to do. He would send me 5 or more pictures of him in the dress and ask me for compliments. Dude, and the fact that this motherfucker tucked tail and ran as soon as people found out about the George situation and found out about what exactly that happened and that stuff getting recently resurfaced, this motherfucker does a legger instead of explaining yourself, right? I don't know if he explains himself in his document. Like, what the fuck is the Snow White shit to you? Like, I cannot wait to hear the hand waving of this fucking shit. My overall thoughts on if he looked cute / pretty. Once he even broke down and apologized to me for not being able to send any pictures of him in a dress that week because he was away. I was so utterly confused. Dude, that's so typical. That's so classically like gaslighting fucking shit. Is it gaslighting? No, it's like, it's almost like reverse psychology. It's like you're trying to normalize that kind of behavior and stuff like that in some way. What do you call this? It's not, maybe this is a fucking tactic. I've seen people do this shit before. Broke down, apologized. It's like when you're trying to like send pictures that week because he was away and I was so utterly confused. God, what tactic is that called? Like that is something that people fucking do where they like immediately like it's like psychological priming. It's like you're the one who's making me do this. You're the one who wants me to send you these pictures. And that's why I'm crying about it. That's why I'm crying and breaking down to you about it, because I feel you are making me feel as if it's my responsibility to do this. Like, it's something like that, right? Like, why would you be crying and breaking down in this child's DMs, right? Because you can't send you wearing fucking Cinderella dresses to them. Like, that just doesn't make any fucking, this is like a deliberative abusive tactic. It is, because it doesn't make it, because if it's not, it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense at all. At one point when he was talking about because here's the thing, because it sounds like he knows he shouldn't be fucking doing it. So he's crying down and breaking down to make it seem like he's not nefarious. He's not being nefarious. He's not violating your boundaries. You're the one who's actually forcing him to send pictures because you keep complimenting him. So it's actually your fault, minor. It's actually your fault. At one point, when we were talking about the dress, I offhandedly mentioned that I had a low-quality Snow White dress that used as a Halloween costume when I was 6 to 7. I told George it was 7 to 9, but looking at it now, I was definitely younger than A. Okay, well, whatever. It was just something I remembered as we were talking, and I didn't say it in a way to spike his curiosity. And despite me making it very clear that I had worn the dress nearly 10 years ago, he got very excited and asked me if I could put it on and show it to him. Brother. I mean, I think Doodletones pointed this out in her video defending George. But just reading it out loud. Dude, how the fuck does that not set off alarm bells? How does that not set off alarm bells in your head? Like, whoa, wait, he's asking to see this fucking child wear this dress, a particular hyperfixation of his? That sounds a little fucking alarming. Regardless, even if you believe that it's not a kink, that should set off like red flags at least. That should make you like, wait, you say it's not a kink, but like you are like, it just doesn't sound right. It does not sound right at all. Because it's like some weird fucking hyperfixation that he's trying to keep under wraps and not let everyone know. At least I think. I mean, maybe on his YouTube channel he might have been public about it. I don't fucking know. But, I don't know, some food for thought, I guess. Let me put this into perspective for those of you who don't know me. I'm a non-binary trans mask. Something that gives me extreme dysphoria more than anything else is dresses. Whenever I'm at a family reunion, I'm practically forced to wear them by my family, and I hate it. I have openly spoke about this multiple times, on my vent, dude. Yeah, I used to be friends with like with a trans guy, and they were in like a very similar situation. Um, they were forced to like wear dresses and shit like that, and it was like it made them feel like really shitty. I'm like, yeah, that's like, and it's like I think their parents even knew. Their parents knew, and they're just like, "Well, you're gonna wear it anyways because that's tradition." Or fucking, it's just some fucking. It was really retarded reasoning, on the parents' end. But something that gives me extreme dysphoria more than anything else is dresses. Whenever I'm at a family reunion, I'm practically forced to wear them by my family, and I hate it. I've openly spoke about this multiple times on my vent, that George followed on two separate accounts at the time of this happening, and anyone else who even remotely knows me. Whoa, this is very interesting, Doodle Tones. You forgot to mention this fucking part too, you fucking dirty cunt. I have openly spoke about this multiple times on my vent that George followed on two separate accounts at the time of this happening. Now, here's the thing. I might be able to be susceptible into believing that, oh, maybe George didn't fucking read it. George is incessantly talking to this person and engaging with this person. You mean to tell me that George didn't see this fucking vent post? George didn't see or read this fucking vent post? He was incessant. He was like practically, from what it sounds, obsessed with this kid, talking to them every day of the fucking week, basically. Sending them pictures, drawing them pictures. That George was heavily involved with this fucking kid. And you mean to tell me that he didn't read this? He didn't get the fucking hint? Bullshit. Like, two separate accounts at the time of happening, and anyone who even remotely knows me, like George did, knows that I can't stand dresses and that they are dreadful for me to wear. What George was doing was clearly a form of objectification, 1000%. George asked me to dress up as his kink, despite knowing that dresses are incredibly stressful for me, despite knowing that the dress is nearly 10 years old and I have grown significantly since I was 7, despite knowing that I was a minor. Disgusting fucking freak, dude. And you know what? I, again, was scared. I was terrified of him having a meltdown, of him beating himself up. Dude, it's just so disgusting to fucking read that shit. Of him beating himself up. I knew I wouldn't be able to handle it if he did. It sounds targeted. Dude, this sounds like fucking like just typical grooming. It's just isolating this, because he knows this person is a very like socially submissive person. And that they're very impressionable because they're a child. They're 16 years old. Well, 16 years old. Teenager. They're a fucking young teenager, right? He's like using his status in this person's life to like, what's the word? Cudgel? As leverage. He's using it as leverage to push to get what he fucking wants out of the fucking interactions. It's like disgusting as fuck, bro. The Save a Fox I saw. This shit is so disgusting. And I saw the fucking Redditors that had like a massive part in her getting harassed are just saying, fuck you, it's not my fault. Fuck this bitch. Which I don't even know what the fuck. I don't think I ever followed the Save a Fox person, but they would show up in my shorts feed, and I liked watching their fucking videos and stuff like that. I liked watching that. I liked watching their content. I cannot fathom this person actually doing anything fucking severely fucked up enough to warrant being stalked by a bunch of fucking retarded Redditors. Like, I just don't get it. It's not like they're neglectful to the foxes. They take very, 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 very good care of the fucking foxes. They go above and beyond taking care of their fucking animals. And you can see they're healthy. They even take in disabled foxes and take care of them and stuff like that. Like, how the fuck could you hate that person? It's insane. She's awesome as fuck, and it's sad as fuck. That schizophrenic Reddit. Dude, Reddit is such a cesspit, man. And the fact that it's ran by the same disgusting people that enable that kind of shit, it's just awful. Reddit needs to be fucking orbitally bombarded. It needs to be shut down, bro. Honestly. The fact they can't fucking regulate their own fucking website and ban obviously harassy fucking subreddits that are subreddits designed to brigade and lambast people for simply fucking existing. Like, bro. I feel like that would be breaking the TOS, but apparently not. Dirty shit to foxes? Like, what? Is there any evidence? Like, I don't fucking... I've never seen it. I mean, if there's proof that she was abusing her foxes and all these people were like covering it and exposing her for it, then that's different. Then that would significantly change the situation. But I watched her shit. That is not the fucking case. Shit, fuck. Oh, fuck. God, man, my fucking allergies. They were just blind, hateful accusations, dude. Scum of the fucking earth. Those people should be sued. The boyfriend, because I know... Wait, I think she has a husband. Not a boyfriend. She has a husband. The husband should subpoena Reddit. Get the fucking accounts. Get the names. Get the people behind those accounts and fucking sue them, dude. Honestly. Bless you, by the way. Thank you. Terrified of him, and it made him very pleased. Oh, wait, what? Of him beating us up, I wouldn't be able to handle it, so I said that I could try finding the dress, and it made him very pleased. Dude. Doodletones did not get enough shit, bro. They did not get enough shit. I cannot fucking believe this. For a week after I said that I would go look for the dress, he was in my DMs asking me over and over if I had found it. Once or twice a week while we were talking, he'd go, "Any luck with the dress? Have you found the dress?" This constant asking for where it was, if I had tried it on. One day, I straight up told him, I have a lot of dysphoric feeling. Oh, shit. Okay. This is setting the boundaries, Doodletones. This is what you wanted this fucking child to do, and that is what they fucking did, cunt. I have a lot of dysphoric feelings right now, so I don't feel like trying it on, and I really expected him to catch on what I was saying, but no, he just said, "Oh, okay, try again when you feel better." Dude, this fuck, oh my god, bro. Oh, fucking blow my nose. Oh no, ew, fuck, shit. Oh god. I agree 100%, but the husband seems too broken right now for legal action. No, I 100% get it. He made a video. Oh, God. He made a video today. He could barely function. It was heartbreaking. I'm sorry. Dude, that's just awful fucking shit. Awful fucking shit. Those people, honestly, you know what? Hot take. Those people should be doxxed. Unironically, if you are going to go out of your way to try and fuck with someone's livelihood by creating false accusations about them, to derail their fucking lives, to put their lives through fucking turmoil, to putting them through fucking shit like that, to the point of them killing themselves, you should be doxxed. You should be doxxed. People should know that you are that person. You are the person that will do shit like that to people because you're a spiteful fucking loser. Everyone should know that. Everyone should know the faces behind those accounts. Anyways, back to other awful things. And it was when you were feeling better, and it was getting to me. I was getting stressed the fuck out. I was getting so unbelievably paranoid from him asking me over and over that I genuinely... How does this not read as George pushing someone's fucking boundaries? Oh, wait, let me guess. Doodletone said, "Well, these are really heavy accusations. Where are the screens?" Which, by the way, Doodletones does not mention this whole fucking thing right here at all. There was no mention of this in her fucking video at all. This fucking shit was nowhere to be said or mentioned. This, she kind of did cover a little bit. The person being transmasked and then being dysphoric about it. And then Doodletones, after mentioning this, says, "Well, you didn't assert your boundaries. If you were uncomfortable," dude, motherfucker, they're doing this right here. But, oh, they don't have the screenshots? I'm pretty sure the screenshots do exist. Hold on, what page am I at? 6? I mean, he deleted most of the shit too, right? Right here, any luck finding the dress? Yes, actually, I have it now. And once I get home, I could try it on. Not sure if it'll fit. I got a 7 to 9, but I'm a small boy, so I can try. I'm a small boy, so like he is fully aware that this person's a fucking trans mask. Let me see, where's the message? Please tell me you have the fucking message, bro. Please step by step. Oh, that's so cool. My UFO account, did I do something wrong? Have it made you feel uncomfortable? Oh no, I just figured that it's slightly okay. We're kind of jumping ahead a little bit into different shit. I kind of wish they did have the fucking thing. Did they really not have the screenshot of this? I mean, we'll fucking it'll if it does exist, it'll show up, and if it doesn't, then I'll point that out. 6. Straight up, I have. Well, also either fucking way. Okay, let's say they don't have evidence for this. There's plenty of other evidence, as you have seen. There's plenty of other evidence of George's inappropriate actions with this fucking kid, pushing their fucking boundaries, guilt tripping them, and so we could literally see that as we were skimming through. So there is evidence of his other shitty fucking actions, and those were just like. And the only thing Doodle Tones was willing to concede on was that George shouldn't have been messaging them on his NSFW-ish account. That's it. That was the only thing Doodle Tones was willing to concede on. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So even though I didn't really want to, I felt disgusted and anxious and miserable. I did. I tried to get the dress on once, and naturally it didn't work because I don't have the body of a first grader anymore. And when I told him I couldn't get it on, he was very disappointed. He was so disappointed that I apologized to him. I just felt more and more guilty. What do you think? It was cool. I really liked it. Glad to hear. Any luck on the dress? Wait, what are the times? 10:37? I mean, it sounds pretty like incessant. Like it's like all right. Anyways, any luck on the dress? Some time went by, and George continued sending me dress pictures, and I continued to compliment him because he was basically asking me to do it, and I didn't want to be rude. Then, just a few weeks before everything went to shit, this, after this having passed and not being talked about for nearly 2 months, he said that he would still love to see me in a Snow White dress one day because I would look very pretty in it. It's like at this point, he fucking knows. He knows this person's trans mask. At the very fucking least. Bro, you cannot fucking make this shit up. That scared me, but I just laughed it off and re-edited that the old dress didn't fit, and then he recommended me where I could buy one, sent me the link, and I could ask my parents for it as a Halloween gift, and said, I believe in you, don't lose hope. Dude, it's so disgusting, man. It's so disgusting. If I could recommend an option, there's some good Snow White costumes you could find on Amazon where I got mine. And you could ask your parents for it for Halloween. This is the one I ordered on Amazon. I have confidence that you'll be able to pull it off someday. So don't lose hope, Leo. I'm rooting for you, dude. It's so selfish, so disgusting. It's just about what you want. It's not about what this fucking person wants. You don't give a shit. It's just about what you want. God. This guy actually sucks. Words honestly cannot describe what I felt at that moment. I was beyond weirded out and mostly horrified. I remember my mind just going absolutely blank when I saw that. I just thanked him for the suggestion, and I said I would think about it. The videos. This is the second part where I will detail that we were mostly doing. Wait, this is the second part where I will detail that we were mostly doing when we were talking in DMs. I once again want to remind you not to attack this man based on his sexual preferences, because in this section, I'm forced to be incredibly specific about what is it that he finds sexually appealing. Really fucking strange how a minor seemingly knows this information about George. Certainly, the only thing George ever did wrong was contact the minor through his NSFW-ish account. Doodle Tones, thank you. One more thing that you'll notice when going to, again, this is what I mean. It's just a giant block of text, and I'm like, I'm going to get tripped up so many fucking times. One of the first thing you'll notice when going on his NSFW is his pinned tweet. Okay. Wait, didn't Doodletone say that they didn't acknowledge this? I'm like almost certain Doodletone said that this person did not acknowledge this. Wait. I just want to double check real fucking quick. Oh wow, look at that. Fucking Ace is fucking covering. Oh, he's only reacting to the Lio shit. Ace is covering literally the same fucking shit. Fuck. What was I looking? Oh yeah. Doodletone's George Raccoon.
God, this video.
Right here.
Comfortable with it. There wasn't anything necessarily explicit ever posted on there. I want to assure you, and this
No, he only just posted things that he said was explicitly his fetish.
was detailed out the gate for anyone who followed that account, as the pinned tweet had this image directly connect to it. You may be noticing some other things on here that'll be important later, and don't worry, we'll come back to them. The important part of this image at the moment, though, is rule number 1. Porn and nudity will not be...
Shut up.
He was fine. Or shared directly was NSFW. So in that sense, he was fine. However, considering that he did label it as NSFW-ish, that's still arguably not exactly okay.
It's not exactly okay. I cannot believe this fucking bitch, dude.
And as someone who's kept in touch with him for all this time, yes...
I feel like she said that Leo did not acknowledge this post.
Even he acknowledges in hindsight this was not okay.
Oh, in hindsight. So glad we got hindsight.
Okay. So sure, in that sense, George was irresponsible. Not to the extent he should be ostracized and crucified for it.
Surely no. There is not any other inappropriate action that George took at all. It was just that one thing. Doodletones, yeah.
Personally, I'd argue, but definitely should have been explained in Leo's document. Not okay. So with that out of the way, I would also like to confirm something else explained in Leo's document. Being that George did have a habit of self-destructing at the time.
Okay, I don't care what...
Are kind of... says in those screenshots are evidence more against the idea that he was doing it feel bad.
Just retarded.
Because I plan to make the argument that... No. The common consensus. Whether or not... Especially given what I have to say about the situation.
I feel like she said... I feel like she said... Because she brings it up later. Again. Right here.
On his NSFW is about and out the gate, I'm screaming. One of the first things you'll notice when going on his NSFW is his pinned tweet that you are encouraged to read before interacting with his page. It was there that...
Okay, so she does. Okay, sure, she does it.
The things that he found sexually appealing, aka his kinks and a few rules of the account. I'm sorry? So, Leo is willing to detail what was in that pinned tweet. He even goes on to explicitly mention the Delcoda chair trick, George's favorite magic trick as outlined by his rules bulletin, but will conveniently leave out the section of Snow White when talking about that. I want to make it clear...
That was mentioned earlier, you fucking lying bitch! That was mentioned earlier! During the Gwen, when the Gwen shit was brought up. A popular thing George used to do was draw his friends in fictional characters in Snow White dresses. Have you seen? Blah, 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 blah. When I was 14, he was telling me, planning on drawing me, blah, 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 blah. A Snow White drawing because I knew George liked it, blah, blah, blah. And I was happy. Luckily, I was contacted by one of my good friends, Gwen. Minutes later, it's forbid me from drawing that. It's immediately. What I didn't know was that dresses were a form of kink of his, and I had no doubt Gwen when he said this because she was one of my closest friends at the time. I believe I got scared. This is like, if you ask George about this, he will deny it and argue. This is like acknowledging the dress shit. This is not, dude. Leo is acknowledging that George argues that the dresses are not a fucking kink. Does Leo need to acknowledge the fucking specific line in the intro? No, he doesn't, because Leo already did that right here. Leo already acknowledged the fucking George says that it's not a kink of his. So stupid, bro. Can't believe moral bankruptcy, yeah, dude. Where the fuck was I, man? Fuck. Okay. Past here. Yes, we already read that. Okay. The videos, right. Oh, wait, no, this is literally the thing. One of the first things you'll notice when going on the NSFW pinned tweet that you were encouraged to read before interacting with this page, it was there that he decided that things he found sexually appealing, aka his kinks and a few rules of the account. A thing he brought up there was that something he found arousing was magic tricks, specifically the Dakota. You see how misleading it's like oh, you talked about the introduction thing to his fucking NSFW account, but you glossed over the dress stuff because Diddle Tones, they're this section, Leo is quote unquote glancing over the dress shit because they already talked about it up here. Did you not see? You had to scroll by pictures. You have to scroll by these pictures. The reason why they glanced over it is because they're done talking about it. They're now moving on to a different subject. Good fucking Lord, Mero. I think the thing he brought up, okay, detailed a few things he found sexually appealing, aka kinks. I think he brought up there that there was something he found arousing was magic tricks, specifically the Dakota chair trick, which I'm sure confuses a lot of you because what the fuck is that? I'm paraphrasing here, but when someone, specifically a woman or someone of a female appearance, is put on a chair and then covered in cloth, followed by said cloth being pulled away and then them being gone without a trace, it would arouse him. And on this account, George would openly talk about how passionate he was about magic and that it was a career he wanted to pursue. I mean, we saw that in the introduction. He says that he wanted to do that. And that a career he wanted to pursue in the future. He was very interested in this field, and he really knew his stuff when it came to it. Once or twice, he'd ask me my thoughts on magic tricks, and I had simply responded with, they're nice. It wasn't something I have ever given much thought, and I cannot, he's bringing up his fucking kinks to this fucking child. And just to be clear, Doodle Tones had access to this fucking document. They are referencing this document in this fucking retarded video. And not once did they think, why did George bring this up again when this is like an explicit kink of theirs? Oh, but the only thing George really did was just, the only thing he did wrong was contact the minor on his NSFW-ish account. That's all that he did. That was the only thing he did wrong. LOL. Dude, I fucking hate. Reading this just makes me hate Doodle Tones more, dude. Passionate. Once or twice he'd ask my thoughts on it. I've never given much thought. I'm going to be completely brutally honest for a second. I had no idea it was something that people thought about and took seriously, but I didn't want to seem rude, so I just said that they were kind of cool or whatever, and eventually he would start to send me videos of the Delcolta chair trick. And it would turn into another weekly thing. The dress photos and the videos come in junction. He would send a couple of dress pictures and then send a video link. And the thing about the videos was that I was expected to watch them. And he would always ask me, "What did you think? Did you enjoy it?" Dude, how do you fucking read this and not think that this is a massive red flag? Are you kidding me? And then they're sobbing in the fucking call like, "Oh, it just didn't sound like grooming. It didn't sound like grooming. Use your fucking head, freak." God. And he would ask repeatedly, "Did you like it?" If I didn't answer, oh boy, he'd find another excuse to contact me, like sending me more dress pictures or other Snow White related stuff, and throw in a quick, "Did you watch the video?" It wasn't just him showing me a cool video. If I didn't see it, he would bring it up again afterwards. My thoughts were pretty simple. It was cool. I liked it, and so on. But it made him very happy regardless. The act of sending those videos to me, having me watch them, and saying, it's like he's basically demanding this fucking kid engage with the fetish. Disgusting. Freak. Yes, I liked it, and it made him very pleased. And since this was all his kink, well, I think you get the point. Why wasn't this acknowledged at all, Doodle Tones, in the document? Oh, Oh, because he didn't have... Whoa. This wasn't acknowledged. Or no, sorry, I gotta sound like Doodle. This wasn't acknowledged because there was no screenshots. Okay, what the fuck is this? I think it's about time I shared with you one of the most famous versions of the Delcota chair. Wow, a fucking video link. Dude, this video is one of the most malicious pieces of media any glup shitto retard on YouTube has ever created. This is just blatant fucking misdirection. Just blatant lying. Sweeping for a fucking predator. Don't ever let it get twisted that Doodletones just didn't know any better. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. They had to scroll past this. Dude. I'm currently, side note, I'm currently wearing the Snow White dress right now, as I sent you the video. Not a fetish, though. Not a fetish. Snow White dress? Not a fetish. They are going out of their way to dress up as their hyperfixation. They have two hyperfixations. Snow White dresses and magic tricks. The magic tricks is explicitly sexual. But the dresses, don't think that the dresses are sexual. Even though he's doing both at the same time. He is flicking his little fucking penis to magic tricks while wearing the dress. But it's not a kink. I started feeling very comfortable by what he was doing. Every time I started feeling very uncomfortable by what he was doing. Every time let's because you didn't insert your boundaries, right? He is actively trying to normalize this to this kid. So I wouldn't even doubt it for a second that this would just have been numbed out by this point, right? That eventually this person is just like, I am too tired to be uncomfortable. I'm just gonna roll with it. Whatever, dude. And that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. At all. Disgusting freak. Monster. Every time I'd open my Twitter and see a DM of him, my blood would run cold. Even more so when he asked about my thoughts after I had tried to avoid watching the video. I did watch them all, but only because I felt pressured to. Maybe it would have been easy for you to say no, but I couldn't do that. I can't shut down someone like that, especially not someone like George, who practically lives by the philosophy of don't call me out on my bullshit. Because, dude, it's so... Doodletones literally reads this line for line, but you skimmed this? You just did not see this? I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Looking back on it now, I can really only describe it as him forcing his kink on me, which is just like, that's like saying the sky is blue. Like, yeah, I can see that. I cannot fucking believe. I still can't believe Doodletones. Oh my God. What's more fucking insane is that it worked. That's the crazier part about this whole fucking drama, is that what Doodletones did worked. It worked. Because the ACC are full of retards. Holy shit, dude. He had done this multiple times. Looking back on it now, I can only really describe it as him forcing his kink on me. We'll talk about his motivations another time, but this is what he was doing. His interest in magic was a hobby. He enjoyed talking about it. And he was super passionate about it. But on top of that, it was also his kink. I wasn't trying, like, specifically the chair trick, specifically that. And he's like sending that to this kid. Like, I don't know. I don't know how Mrs. I am like a fucking, I got a master's in kinkology. I understand this whole entire fucking subject. Didn't think for a second. It's like, well, it's just a magic trick. Who cares? It's like, okay, well, what about foot fetishes? What if it replaced a chair with feet? What if George had said, I have a foot fetish and is sending pictures of his feet to this kid? Then what? Doodletones, then what? You see what I mean? Does that make sense? Holy shit, dude. I wasn't trying to lead him on by saying it was cool. I just didn't want to seem disinterested when he was so into it. Then one day, he just hit me up and told me that he made a drawing without my knowledge or permission. He had drawn my OC Leo acting out the Delcota chair trick. This image has been lost due to George removing his account, but I do have screenshots of him admitting to doing it. Didn't read that part in your original video. Dude, it's literally in the same paragraph. Doodletones directly quotes this in her fucking video. And in the same paragraph is this. I have screenshots of him admitting to doing it. And that is shown. The video is just malicious. It's malicious. This was malicious. Okay. Moving his cow, but I do have a screenshot of it now because I am AFAB. Leo has a feminine appearance. It's simply the way I look in real life. So naturally, my OC would have a similar appearance. And considering George disregarded how dresses make me uncomfortable because I'm trans and going by he, him, I'm not saying Leo's appearance had anything to do with it, but it's really unreasonable to assume that. But is it really unreasonable to assume that? Either way, he still drew me, a 16-year-old, acting out the thing he said he found sexually arousing. He drew me vanishing underneath a cloth. And dude, it's so fucking crazy too because she clips around this. Hold on. She clips around this.
Conversational than sexual or malicious. The first one shows George sharing the Delcota chair trick performed by David Copperfield.
Wait, oh my god, she acknowledges this. Wait, what?
Before presumably going on to talk about the Snow White dress he bought for himself.
He was wearing it. No, you didn't read this. I am currently wearing the Snow White dress right now as I sent you the video of his fetish.
Copperfield. Before presumably going on to talk about the Snow White dress he bought
Don't think about that.
for himself.
Don't think about it.
By the way, cross-dressing in the way George was doing so is also not proof of George doing it to be sexual. Just should get that out of the way.
It is very inconvenient for my narrative if you acknowledge that he is wearing the fucking dress as he is engaging in the kink with the minor. This is not proof of it. Just want to mention that anyways. My hand is not waving. My hand is not waving. I'm not asking you to look in that direction. I'm not asking you to, hey, what's over there? I'm not telling you to just look away from the thing that fucking is Hiroshima and Nagasaki right on my fucking narrative. I'm not telling you to do that. Just keep that in mind.
If he finds the dress to be more aesthetically appealing, then it's just George not having an issue with cross-dressing. If you want to make an argument otherwise, you're going to have to provide me with some proof that he does find Snow White dresses to be sexual, because—
How about he's wearing the dress as he's actively engaging in the fetish? And this seems to be pretty explicitly clear that he is doing them in tandem with each other. If he's wearing the dress, he's engaging in the kink. That is like well established at this point in the doc.
I just don't have any reason to believe.
So I forgot what the fucking point I was trying to make because I got fucking distracted. The chair trick, the drawing, see similar in appearance considering Georgia disregarded how dresses make me uncomfortable because I'm trans, go by him. He still drew me a 16-year-old acting out the things he found sexually arousing. He drew me vanishing underneath the closet. It's the very same act stated to be a kink of his. Actually, I kind of do want to quickly mention a drawing I did a good while back. All right. So the one drawing I did but never completed was a step-by-step drawing of your OC vanishing from the Delcota. I'm just going to call it Delcota chair. It had him covered up with. So he's like drawing. It's like, how do you overlook this? How do you overlook this and not be like debilitatingly retarded or just malicious? At this point, it was too much. Too much had happened at the same time. I felt sick, anxious, uncomfortable, afraid. I would have minor anxiety attacks when George DM'd me his creepy fetish stuff. I had this suspicion. I was starting to understand. Oh, I had this suspicion. I was starting to understand, and I don't think you understand how scared I was. I can't even put into words without undermining how much utter fear I felt. Pedophilia and grooming are my biggest triggers due to my previous experience with such things. But either I didn't want to believe it or I did and I just kept lying to myself. However, it was starting to hurt. Everything hurt. I felt disgusted, sickened constantly. I would imagine he's like literally objectifying. It is so clear cut. He is just objectifying this kid for his own sick fucking pleasure. And that is just what's happening. And he's normalizing it. And if the kid doesn't play along, he guilt trips. If the kid isn't willing to play along with this sick fucking game, he guilt trips. And he makes the minor feel bad for setting fucking boundaries. Eventually, I just contacted my friend Charlie and I told them everything. I broke the promise of silence that I had kept up until that point. The pressure of don't leak or I will cut you off was trapping me in this situation, making me miserable, and most of all, making me feel awful for seeking help from Charlie. And I even wanted to, oh, and just by the way, I want to point this out too, because I feel like this was probably something that she had pointed out originally in her live stream that she had botched, because she doesn't mention this in her fucking video. I can imagine the argument would be like, if you felt like you were groomed, then why were you worried about breaking this promise? Wouldn't you just have done that anyways? If you felt like you were groomed and uncomfortable, wouldn't you have done this earlier? Why do you value not breaking this promise? Because typical abuser tactic is to make your target emotionally dependent on you. George has established that through guilt tripping. Incessant fucking guilt tripping. Putting immense pressure on this child to play along with this game. That is why they didn't want to break the promise. Because if they broke the promise, what would that mean? George would freak out and start fucking suicide baiting and doing all the fucking depression baiting and doing all the fucking kill myself baiting. That's why. Hope that helps Doodle Tones if you're fucking watching this and still fucking think that this isn't grooming. You sick fuck. They were the ones who brought me back to Earth and told me the truth I needed to hear. You are welcome to contact them for details. Then all hell broke loose. This section will be dedicated to the night of September 21st when everything reached its peak with George. I was advised to confront him and tell him that he needed to stop. You honestly did not need to do this. If I was in this situation, if I was this person's friend at the time, you did not need to do this. Just block them. You do not need to justify yourself. If you are uncomfortable with this person, if you are comfortable with the way they're engaging, just block them. Okay? I understand it's probably hard to do that. You feel like you need to justify yourself because you want to try and make him not freak out. He is going to freak out. It doesn't matter. You do not need to explain yourself. You've already made it clear at this fucking point. You honestly did not need to do this. That it was making me uncomfortable, and as my friend, he should accept that and not press any further regarding videos or dresses. But I couldn't do that. Okay, good. I knew I couldn't. I was terrified of hurting him. See, exactly. And I already felt like this. I already felt like shit because I was telling myself constantly that everything was my fault. I eventually came up with another alternative, which was to simply unfollow his NSFW. Okay, good. If/when he DM'd me, I would tell him that it felt wrong. I felt it was wrong of me to follow it because of my age, and that I should have left it sooner, but I didn't, and now I realize I was wrong in doing so. That's honestly a good trick. I still would have just said blocked and don't ever talk to this fucking freak ever again. If he accepted that, it would be okay. But if he kept, at this point, dude, this person just does not have any respect for you. Like, just remove them entirely. There is no point in setting boundaries because he is going to find a way to break it. That is just who George is. He will push and push and push, and if you set up a boundary, he will find a way to break it. He will find a way to break through it. Like, that's just what this fucking guy does. If he accepted that, it would be okay. But if I kept sending videos of me beyond that point, I would be forced to confront him. So Saturday 2 weeks ago at 11 p.m. Saturday 2 weeks ago. Wow. So damn, this fucking document. So he had 2 weeks to fucking gear up and start deleting shit. Damn. He DM'd me asking me why I left. I explained myself and I took full responsibility for following the account despite my age, even though he was also in the wrong for asking me to be there. And at that point, he asked me if he could still send the videos. If he could still send his fetish videos on his non-fetish account, on his main account. Brother, he just does not get it. He just no. He gets it. He actually understands it completely. He just does not care. He's like, oh, this is a boundary you're setting? Well, what if I just sent it to you on my Safer Work account? I have set this boundary, and I, George, am going to find a way to circumvent it. Disgusting, dude. It is like so obvious. It's like the signs are just so obvious, and him going out of his way to snake around it is just so malicious, dude. All these people fucking suck. Like all the people that were involved in defending this guy, fuck you. You fucking suck. To point some videos. He said he felt scared when I unfollowed and he was worried he might have done something wrong, but he loved sharing videos with me and he didn't want to stop. And when he said that I knew that this was it meant I would have to be honest. I distinctly remember my heart racing as I typed out my request for him to not send me any more videos. And I want you to understand, did it in the most flimsy, kind, and respectful way I possibly could have, because I didn't want to hurt him. And I didn't even say anything about the dress. I kept that part out because I was scared of hurting him too much. I just said, please don't send me any more magic videos. And I explained why in a very polite way. I reiterated that I wasn't accusing him of being a pedophile and that I was just getting uncomfortable. And he seemingly took it well. He apologized and said it was not his intentions. It was not his intention and promised not to do so in the future. I appreciate that so much. Both Charlie and I were pleasantly surprised, but we thought of it as a good thing. He was so kind and understanding, I was completely willing to let it go. There is 20 more pages left. There are 20 more pages left of this fucking document. Seemingly took it well. I'm sure he fucking did. I'm sure that will not change. Hi, Unseen Smoke. You forgot, did I do something wrong? Have I been making you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, he's just sending this like minutes in between. He's just incessant, just spam until you fucking answer him. Oh no, it's just that I figured it was slightly inappropriate for me to follow since I am still a minor. I am not allowed on a majority of NSFW accounts because of my age, and I realize now that following you from the start wasn't a very good idea on my end, and I apologize for that. I know it's not a full-on NSFW, but I don't want to overstep any boundaries. All right. I felt anxious, like I might have done something wrong, but I'm relieved. I love sharing the magic videos with you, and I hope I can still do so moving forward. I was almost gonna say he doesn't get it, but like, he knows exactly. Hey, listen, I should probably tell you that after a while, I started feeling a little uncomfortable with what you were doing. I'm asking you as a friend, please don't send me any more magic videos. It was nice at first, but when I realized it was also your kink, I can't, even if you didn't mean it like that. I felt like you were trying to get me into what was basically your fetish. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying that it's been making me feel weird, and I was a little scared. And I was a little scared, and I don't want you to share that stuff. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying that it's been making me feel weird and a little scared, and I don't want you to share that stuff with me. You're my friend, and I love you, and I just want to set the record straight. You deserve that much. Oh, I am very sorry. I won't do it anymore. It was not my intent to make you feel uncomfortable, and I apologize for that. Thank you for Thank you. Dyslexia. I understand that. Thank you for respecting my decision. But no, it did not end there. I would say 30 minutes or so after we had this totally respectful and amazing conversation, I see a DM from George. He's telling me that he's going to step away from social media, that he feels terrible for all that he did to me, and he needs to stay away from me. And then he says, "Don't feel guilty." Well, you kind of just made me feel guilty, pal. Yeah, literally. I told him that's not what I wanted or said at all, that I just wanted him to understand, like he seemingly did at first. He said he didn't mean to hurt me, but he did, and that made him feel awful. Despite this, I comforted and told him that everything was fine, but he still kept fucking with it. He tweeted goodbye, and that he was leaving, and whatever happened was his fault. Is that a message? Oh my fucking God, bro. He tweeted goodbye and stated whatever happened was his fault. Whatever happened was his fault. Literally suicide baiting to this fucking teenager. You cannot make this up. He changed his Twitter bio saying that there was no defending him. He was at fault for everything. He deserves no sympathy. Dude, it's literally fucking, now he's unironically suicide baiting. It's unironically suicide baiting. Holy shit. George doesn't get what he wants, so George is going to make you feel like shit for setting boundaries and telling him not to cross it. Hey, George, please do not do this action. Okay, I am now going to fucking cut myself because you have just told me that. Nice. This guy needed to come back, and Leo needed to be chased out of the community. Doodle Tones, quote it. She basically said that. What the fuck was I? Said goodbye. What happened was his fault. He changed his Twitter bio saying that there was no defending him. He deserves no sympathy, and what happened to him was not important. And of course, I started freaking out, and I started crying. I settled into panic, and I started yelling at myself. I felt fucking terrible. Dude, my God, dude. George needs to get the shit beaten out of him, unironically. Unironically, this guy needs to get the fucking complete shit beaten out of him. I felt fucking terrible, and like he left because of me. I can't fucking handle the feeling of hurting someone that badly. And I was up for hours just sobbing. Dude, I hope one day Leo grows out of this and just becomes apathetic. Because apathy is like the drug that just cures bullshit. It just cures bullshit like this, right? Because I feel like if I was in this situation as a kid, like, well, as a kid, you're naturally gonna feel like, oh my God, this is my fault that this is happening. But I feel like if I was in a predicament like this, and I recognize that this guy is just violating my boundaries constantly, over and 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 over again. He's not taking the hint, no matter how fucking nicely I put it. So I decided to pump the brakes, set a full-on fucking boundary, and because he's no longer allowed to cross it, he is now threatening to kill yourself. Okay, kill yourself. Bye-bye. Not my fucking problem anymore. If you can't handle me setting a fucking boundary, and that is enough to push you over the edge, jump. Just fucking jump. The world is a cruel fucking place, and if you can't fucking handle something as simple as that, you are fucking weak. Get cold, bitch. Get cold. Don't fucking care. It's really telling that the teenager is more emotionally mature than the adult in this situation, down to immediately baiting when he's told to fuck off. Yeah, literally. Like Leo is extraordinarily emotionally mature at this time, because even they're like, it's, you can see that they're recognizing like this is not okay what he's fucking doing. But it's sad that because they're a child and they're super impressionable, that they're falling for the sympathy bait shit and the suicide bait shit. Because it's just so, and it's George. It's not that George is emotionally immature. I will say this. George is actually extraordinarily emotionally mature. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he has to do and what he has to say to get what he wants out of people. He is a full-on sociopath. He knows exactly the things, he knows the role he has to play to get the things that he wants from people. That is what he's doing. That is his pattern. That's his tactic. That's what he does. It's not a defense mechanism. It's an act of aggression. That's what this is. When George doesn't get what he wants, he's going to make you feel like a piece of shit for not relenting. What a monster, dude. Doing this to a fucking kid. Doing this to an adult would be extremely fucking shitty. To a child, knowing that they are vulnerable to shit like this, you're a fucking monster. You are a fucking monster. Yo, what up, Nio? I can't handle the feeling of hurting someone that badly, and I was up for hours just sobbing with racing heartbeat, barely able to catch my breath. My self-worth issues are fucking huge, and I struggle with them every single day, and this situation only became worse because of that. I would not doubt this would be traumatizing to Leo. I felt stupid for even talking about it in the first place. I felt like the perverted one for thinking it was something inappropriate when he pushed his kinks on me. I felt like an awful, awful friend, and I regretted speaking out. Dude, this is what I mean. It's not a defense mechanism. It is not a defense mechanism. He does this as a means of aggression. This is his way of aggressing on people's boundaries. That is how he gets what he fucking wants from people. Had it not been for Gwen, Charlie, and Donnie, who were there for me, that night, something terrible could have happened. My parents were out, and I was alone in the middle of the night having a huge panic attack on my bed. Nothing but a phone. Nothing but my phone. I understand that you respect my decision. You're welcome, Leo. Hugs, hugs. I think I may just step away right now. I feel terrible for all that I did to you. Wait, when is 220? Dude, not even that. Like, literally 30 minutes later. Basically 30 minutes later. It's just immediately he's sitting there thinking, okay, this person set this boundary against me, and I'm not going to get what I want. What can I do? Suicide bait. Like immediately, like you can see that you see that period. 30 minutes. It took him 30 minutes to think of this fucking idea, and he just goes with it. I feel terrible for what I did, and I cannot believe this was just glanced over in Doodle Tones' document. Like or Doodle Tones' video. She is reading this. She's reading this and saying this. Whereas I could find this real fucking quick.
I'd argue shouldn't be a huge strike against George, though, as we don't see him doing it maliciously in the screenshots we get. In fact, everything that George says in those screenshots are evidence more against the idea that he was doing it to be purposely manipulative.
Oh my gosh, she doesn't even show this. She doesn't even show this. She doesn't show this. She straight up just...
Though, as we don't...
This video is malicious. This video is malicious. Both Doodle Tones and George Raccoon were fucking... What's the word? Conspiring with each other. They were fucking conspiring with each other to fuck over Leo. That's what this fucking video was. I cannot believe... You showed... George is not acting malicious.
Right. This is also something I'd argue shouldn't be a huge strike against
Not
George,
a huge strike
though,
against
as we
him.
don't see him doing it maliciously in the screenshots we get.
Not malicious.
In fact, everything that George says in those screenshots are evidence more against the idea that he was doing it to be purposely manipulative, as his messages...
Wait, no, does she? No, she does! Okay, dude, pause, Andy. I thought because it went away for a second.
Are evidence more against the idea that he was doing it to be purposely manipulative, as his message...
I'm a pause, Andy, bro. But yeah, point being, she fucking goes over it. Just not gonna pay any second thought to this.
Just say that he
even though a huge chunk of this is talking about how George doing this is manipulative as fuck. And she is reading this document. She's looking through these screenshots and she's reading this and telling the audience, do not pay any mind to this. If anything, this just shows that George isn't malicious. Bro. Either way, my point still stands. Doodle Tones conspired with George to fuck over Leo. That's what this fucking video was. And it worked. I didn't say that. I never meant that. No. I didn't say that. I never meant that. You're good. I'm just glad you understand. It's just I didn't mean to hurt you, but I ended up doing it anyways. No elaboration. Just yeah. Sit with sit with that idea. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I ended up doing it anyways. And I'm only realizing this now because you told me. It's almost like that's your fault. Gone. This is what they changed it to. Gone. No defending me. I'm at fault for everything. Deserve no sympathy. What happened to me? It's not important. Main account. If you want to follow me on my main account, go to Raccoon 900. Whatever happened is all my fault. Goodbye. Dude, what a fucking piece of shit. I was up half fucking night. There was no calming me down. And I want to say it took like 3 hours of talking to friends and having people contact me left and right before I started to relax. I'm emotionally unstable and I could not stop blaming myself because of course not. George had made sure of that. Saying don't feel bad doesn't mean shit when you're comparing yourself to the scum of humanity in front of, well, he is the scum of humanity, honestly. But like I said, my friends were there and I occupied myself as best as I could while I was sobbing amidst the darkness. I really have them to thank for me eventually collecting myself. Had I not had these people with me that night, I don't know what would have happened. At that point, I was beyond exhausted and I could barely keep my eyes open. My head hurt, my body hurt. I was just about everything. I'm terrible, but I was calm. I was sad and hurt and tired, and I feel I was breathing fine and my heartbeat wasn't racing anymore. So I decided to get up, get ready for bed. It was late, I was miserable, and I would probably cry myself to sleep, but I still needed to rest. I left my phone in my bed and went to the bathroom, prepared to go to sleep. I even tweeted that I was going to bed and that I didn't want to take any more of this tonight. 20 minutes later, I returned to a barrage of messages from George. He was in my DMs at 4 in the morning, having a fucking meltdown. He said he told me not to feel guilty, that he wrote those things because he felt bad and needed to be away. Just completely glossing over the fact you were like blatantly suicide baiting against this fucking kid. That I shouldn't hurt myself, that I'm not an asshole, that I had the right to let him know things were bad. Dude, it's so disgustingly manipulative. Holy shit, man. Just he knows exactly what he needs to do to make this situation so perfect for him. It's like, no. Wait. You hold on. You're feeling, whoa. You're publicly now tweeting how you feel like shit because of our interaction. Whoa, wait, let me diffuse that. You have every right to feel that way. Hey, just don't say anything and let me have my little meltdown. Let the moment be about me and not about you. That is what he's fucking doing right here. He's trying to calm the situation down for her so he can continue to play fucking victim. Bro, oh my fucking god. Dude, this guy's evil. This guy's fucking evil, actually. Also, yo, Shell. This guy's evil. George Raccoon is an evil fucking monster. Horace Tome is an evil fucking monster, dude. I hate to sound like I'm playing armchair psychology, but I have seen this shit happen enough fucking times. And I've experienced it myself. Not to this extent, thankfully, as a kid. But I've been around people like this, and I know how the fuck it works. And he does this deliberately. Everything George is doing, this is not impulsive. It is calculated. He is manipulative as fuck, dude. Shouldn't hurt myself. That I had the right to let him know things are bad. The last he wanted to see me was in pain. And okay, you know what? You need to stop. You don't fucking do this. You don't DM a teenager in the middle of the night and spam them with messages. Even if they're awake, even if it's nice or kind, I don't give a fuck. Especially not when you know they're having a panic attack or recovering from one, which George clearly did. And the argument did. And it's like they wrote this when they were 16. Dude, they don't know. They don't know what the play here is. They don't know what George is playing here. He is literally trying to take the spotlight away from him, from Leo, and say, well, hold on, you cannot do that on your public Twitter. This has to be about me. This has to be about me. Because if you start expressing your guilt publicly, it's going to create suspicion on me. So I'm going to diffuse this as quickly as I possibly can. so I could go back to making it about me. Arm stairs? Did I say arm stairs? I meant like armchair psychology. I'm a psychologic. You need to stop. Don't fucking do this. Okay, especially not when they're having a panic attack. I already read that, which George clearly did. And the argument that it was only evening for George doesn't work because everyone in my friend group knows I'm from Sweden and my time zone is vastly different from theirs. George fucking knew that. Yep. I told you not to feel any guilt. I told you not to. It almost feels like demanding. It almost feels. This message. I mean, maybe I might be reading too much into this single message, but that almost feels like angry. That almost feels like anger. Like, I told you not to feel guilt. I told you not to. I wrote that message when I was feeling like shit, mainly because I needed to be away. Please don't hurt yourself because of me. You are not an asshole for dude. It's just like it switches immediately. Like, I don't know. This feels angry. Does this not feel angry? I told you not to feel any guilt. This almost feels fucking angry, bro. I don't. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I do know for sure. I'm pretty much sold on this. George is calculated. He's calculating. He is manipulative. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing, right? But this message comes off as fucking angry to me. You're not an asshole for telling me what I made you feel uncomfortable. You had no right to Okay, I remember this. It's you in pain. You look like you wanted to look out for me. You are not in the wrong for that. I'm sorry I made you panic. You didn't make me leave. I made myself leave. I messed up. Please don't feel bad. I'm sorry, dude. Such a piece of shit. Like, he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing, bro. And of course, I freaked out all over again. My pulse spiked and I had another panic attack because he would not stop. I started crying and hyperventilating and the entire cycle just started anew. And Doodle Tones is reading this and just, nah, this doesn't need to be in the video. I guarantee it, though. She probably went over this document on her stream and had to be forced to contend with this. And her excuses probably did not sound too good, which is why the stream is private and nobody's ever going to see it ever again. It sounds very commanding. Yeah, hard to determine emotional tone like anger, especially in text messages. Yeah. But for me, it's like the context behind this message is that this had happened. The last message was like hours ago, right? Like 3:32. No, 3:32. So this is being sent at 3:32 in the morning, and that their last message was at 23:50. So 3 hours later. So in the span of 3 hours, she's trying to calm down, and then before she goes to bed, she makes that fucking tweet, and this fucking cunt jumps in her fucking DMs and says, "Well, don't make it about you. Please don't make it about you. Don't feel bad." Because but this is the message. This is what I'm trying to get at. I'm retarded, dude. I get distracted. This is what I'm trying to get at. 3 hours later, I told you not to feel any guilt. That's how it fucking reads. That's how it feels. God. I'd been tormented by this man half the fucking night, and just when I went to catch a breath, I got slammed back into that state again. And for what? So he could beg for my sympathy yet again. Sympathy that I had already given him. Take a breath. Dude, it's just my brain. Dude, I probably have ADHD. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, I need to go on Vyvanse. It's probably becoming clear that I'm getting progressively angrier as this goes on, but you have to understand how much this hurt me. It took a week for me to fully recover and to make that decision to even talk about this. Every aspect of my body was in ruin. I slept for 6 hours that night. I woke up after 4, but I forced myself back to sleep because I needed it. I was so timid the entire week in school that I could barely speak to my peers. I was depressed and very scared to be alone. My friends here in Sweden, they helped me out. They helped me get back on my feet a little. And the mutuals online who helped me through it honestly deserved the world, but it took work. I told George I needed his sleep and that we could talk tomorrow if he wanted to. I had nothing to say, but he hit me up anyways because he hit me up anyways because he did. I guess because he wanted to talk. He started by profusely apologizing and then explaining what I have already told you. His mind often getting clouded with negativity and resulting in him beating himself up. He wasn't able to let it go about how much he hurt me, and how much he hurt me, even though we agreed he could stop with the videos, that he felt responsible, that he was well aware, and that he was well aware of his mistakes, that he shouldn't have done that to me, and that I had told. So this is literally him admitting that he should not have forcefully engaged this minor in this fetish talk. Cold water can help you focus. Yeah, maybe. Dude, it is so... I hate Florida so fucking much. I hate Florida so fucking much, bro. It's way too fucking hot. It is 9 p.m. It should be cold. It is not cold. It's fucking hot. I have a fan blaring at my face, and I still feel the heat. I already said this before, but I seriously apologize for everything. I acted out with my own emotions, beating myself up. And it's like he knows. It's like this is almost like an admittance of the tactic. He's like almost admitting what his tactic is. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows why it's wrong. He knows why it's gross. He knows why it's manipulative. He knows he shouldn't do it, but he does it anyways. Can fry your focus for real? Yeah, true. Sometimes whenever I feel depressed or upset, my own mind goes to heavy extremes with negativity. And it's like, well, so it's almost like you should like be separate. So if you ever start feeling like that, the responsible thing to do is separate yourself from the people so you don't stress them out with your fucking dumb bullshit, right? You shouldn't even be talking to this minor. Let alone that. You should not be even talking to this fucking kid. But in a circumstance in which you are, and you're going through what you know to be bad emotions that can quickly blow up and stress other people out, you know you are admitting this. You just do it anyways. Bro. One of mine goes to heavy extremes. Even after we talked it out yesterday about the UFO account and how I wouldn't send you any more magic videos. I feel responsible for affecting you so much to the point where my mind was all negative. The last thing I would do is not be aware of my own. The last thing I would do is not be aware of my own mistakes and how they happen. I shouldn't have put you in that scenario to begin with. I don't like hurting you. I would not tell people that you're an asshole for simply telling me something I needed to know. Well, do you assume George knows the concept of emotional responsibility? Well, George, I genuinely think this might be like a schizo take. I genuinely think this guy knows exactly what he's doing. He is very, very emotionally intelligent. He knows the exact strings to pluck to get what he wants out of people. He knows that, oh, this person is setting a boundary against me. I'm making them uncomfortable. Well, I'll just make them feel bad for setting that boundary in the hopes that maybe they remove it and capitulate to my demands. Because this happened before. If you're just now watching the stream, oh my god, we're almost done with this document. Hell yeah. Earlier, this situation was already acknowledged that it shouldn't have happened. The dress. When I first met George, I was 14. Where was Gwen? Talked about a good friend. Gwen, minutes later, warned me to not let him do this, to not let him draw Leo in a Snow White dress. Because it is his fetish. He was told this by Gwen. This was in 2017. What we're talking about happened in 2019. He already knows he should not be doing this because it's his fetish. And in 2019, he's still actively trying to involve this person, except this time directly in the fucking magic shit, directly in the magic fetish. Where is the screenshot? Directly in the magic fetish that he has said that is his fetish. He knows he's already been told not to do this. And this person, Leo, finally gets the balls to assert their boundaries. And what does he do? Makes them feel bad. Dude, disgusting freak piece of shit. At this point, I was honestly a little done with this friendship. I don't fucking blame you. A large number of my closest friends were already encouraging me to drop him, and I had ran out of counter arguments. There was still the rest of the truth left, though, and I needed to say it, so I did. I told him about the dress and the drawing, and his reaction was, how do I say this? The most confusing shit ever. Yeah. He said he didn't know that that was an issue. He'd already admitted he messed up, and then he asked me what he could do to make it up to me, aside from not grooming me again. No fucking shot. Bro, it's like I knew he admitted it. I knew he admitted it, but just reading it out loud. Bro. Case closed. Wait, closed. Dude. Case closed. It is shut. End of story. This guy can get fucked. And that is the logical conclusion. Yet for some fucking reason this video exists. I'm telling you. And we went over the Lyle call. We went over the fucking Lyle call. Bro. Yo, Crackduck, shout out to Crackduck. I fucking love this guy's videos. We had went over this fucking video. Dude. They did not push hard enough on her on this shit. They did not push hard enough against her. It wasn't because she was allowed to act confused. She was allowed to act like a fucking retard and pretend like she didn't know anything about this situation. And that she just didn't feel like it was grooming. George thought it was grooming. George said it was grooming. He said it. The pedophile thinks it was grooming, but you don't? But you don't? You don't get to act aloof. You don't get to act stupid. You knew exactly what the fuck you were doing. SCC amnesia. This was just a play, dude. It's like, oh my god, like realizing how manipulative these people actually. They're not stupid. They are not fucking. Well, what's stupid was thinking that this was never gonna catch up. That's what's fucking stupid. Was thinking that this lie wasn't going to run up and bite him in the ass in the future. That's what's fucking stupid. I cannot fucking believe this, dude. Oh my fucking god. I really wish I was in that call, bro. That Lyle Convoy shit. I really wish I was in this fucking call, man. I wish I could go in a fucking time machine. I wish I could go in a fucking time machine and be in this call. Because holy fucking shit. All of this was malicious. All of this malicious. George was malicious. Doodletones is malicious. All these people were actively colluding with each other to smear Leo as a liar. Cannot fucking believe this shit, bro. Blah, 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 blah. Like I cannot make it up to me. Not after you guilt tripped me and blew up in my DMs in the middle of the night after I tweeted, how are you going to say the word grooming? And how can make things better? How can you make things better in the same sentence and not realize that no, you can't? Grooming isn't a mess up. Why is this so hard to understand? That's a really good question. A really good question. Listen, I'm trying to figure out what to say here, but I just want you to know, I guess, that it was a mixture of a lot of things. The videos, yes, but the dress things, and how I would look pretty in a dress, that you knew me doing the thing you explicitly said turns you on, and things like that. It felt to me like objectification. And others, I'm not going to say who because that's not important, said grooming, and I just don't know. I didn't know about this. I'm sorry for that as well. I'll stop doing that. Dude, he sounds like a fucking robot. I'll stop doing that. I've already admitted I messed up big time. How can I do to make things better aside from not grooming you? I basically just told him that we should take a break because what the fuck was I supposed to say to that? George seemed to understand and hoped that things would one day be okay between us. We've unfollowed one another and parted peacefully. 2 or 3 days later, I blocked him. Everyone, Discord, Twitter, even on my Switch. And now I'm making this. I can't say I know that your intentions were. I can't say I know what your intentions were, but I sincerely want to believe it wasn't something bad. That said, I don't know if we should be talking, at least not for a while. A break would probably be optimal right now. I don't know how long, but just like some time apart. I understand. I broke a friendship and I severely hurt this one. I understand. I broke a friendship and I severely hurt this one. Just so like he's trying to detach himself so much from this person. It's like he only values this person as far as like a friendship rather than like an actual human being. I feel like I need a break as well since yesterday. I too am a victim. I too am victimized in this situation. I agree. Since I'm probably going to be tweeting on this account about how I'm feeling and maybe you on yours, perhaps we should unfollow each other too for the time being. I agree. See you next time. Yes, goodbye. This next bit goes out directly to you, George. I'm about 99% sure this is somehow going to end up in your hands, so here it goes. I don't want to believe you were outright malicious. He was outright malicious. He was malicious as fuck. This, as an adult, I understand as a 16-year-old, you might not have the emotional intelligence to recognize some of these behaviors. He is malicious. Mostly for my own sake. Okay. That's more or less a concession. Like, I don't want to feel like you did this maliciously for my own sake. I don't want to believe that I would be directly targeted by a monster yet again for that kind of reason. But your actions have forced me to come to that conclusion. Okay, good. I was perfectly willing to let you off the hook. I was happy that you took my words so well, but you ruined it. You ran to other people in your friend group and told them my story that was not yours to share. Blew up my phone right after I said I was going to bed in the late ass morning and approached the subject of grooming with the mundanity of a mistake. The fact of the matter is I was very kind to you that night. I did nothing to warrant your avalanche of self-loathing. That's a really good fucking terminology. That's a really good phrasing. But I will admit to one of my mistakes. When we parted ways, I had no intentions of ever speaking to you again. But I was too scared to tell you that. I hate being mean, and I felt that I would be if I cut you off. I thought you get sad again and start beating yourself up. So I said we should take a break, but even then it wasn't okay. I'm sorry I wasn't brave enough to be honest with you. I'm telling you, don't even need to apologize for that. I'm telling you now, however, that I do not want to speak with you ever again. Before signing off, I just want my friends to know how much I love them, how much I appreciate everyone who came to check on me after this happened. All your messages and support has honestly been so amazing and it has helped me recover. I've been terrified to do this and I still am, but I know I need to do that so I can move on. I love you all, and to any minor out there reading this, I've got your back. I'm always here for you. You should be taken. You shouldn't. Almost read that really fucking wrong. Should you be taken advantage of like this, Please stay safe and steer clear of this man. Thank you for reading and listening to my story. Good evening to you all. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, what are their fucking links, bro? Oh my god. George's document. Do I even want to fucking go over this motherfucker's document, bro? Dude, because it's 50 pages. His document is 50 fucking pages. And it was posted in 2024 after Doodle Tones' shit. Where is it? Akumu on Diddy diaper allegations, dude. I don't know why the fuck it gives some of these titles. Where the fuck is it? I'll fucking skim it, dude. It's honestly not even fucking worth going over. Vic's statement on George Raccoon. Okay. Doodle vid, apparently. Where the fuck is the George? I have the link. Where is it? Doodle dressing, Coke and Dagger call, Doodle, Vic statement, George Raccoon. Okay, here we go. George Raccoon statement on the allegations. Here we go. Yeah, this fucking shit is 50 fucking pages, dude. And it's just fucking retarded. And it's like, and he starts off with this fucking dumbass shit. Like as if that has to do anything with anything. I've since learned that back in January 2020, one of the people mentioned in the document that I had issues with, Charlie Channel Gray Vivo, has publicly called out by Donimation for indecently exposing their private parts. Like, what relevance does this have to do with fucking anything? Who the fuck cares? That's its own separate thing, George. Please, fucking derail. If you're gonna derail yourself off a fucking bridge. Holy shit, man. After what transpired, chapter 0. Wow. So I can skip it. Okay, cool. Wait, Leo is 16 now, 17. Wait, so this wasn't even this was not in 2024. When the fuck was this document? It said Leo is 16. Leo is 16 now, 17. When was this document made? Does it at least say? And then these are just a bunch of random fucking people, dude. Address. Where is he? I don't give a fuck about all this random shit with other fucking people. Respond to Leo. That's what I want to. I want to hear the fucking response to this shit. Chapter 3, Chapter 2. Attempting to draw Leo an address. Oh, my fucking god, dude. It's not fucking worth it. It's not worth it. You know what? You know what, George? Because you conspired with Doodle Tones to smear Leo as a liar, fuck you. I'm not reading this shit. There you go. That is my official going over George Raccoon's response to Leo's document. There you go. There you go. Literally could not give a fuck less about your fucking yapping. Dude. I was kind of banking on fucking Noah and the gang being online. Fuck. But they're not. Based? Dude, I try to be, bro. Oh my fucking god. What do I do now, dude? Is there any like shitter stuff to react to? Like a throwing on the background as a fucking goon or something, man? As a goon? I mean grind. I mean grind on Helldivers. Hold on one second. PNG tuber. Kill George? Yeah, dude. Fucking kill George. Kill Kreitz. Dude, if anybody gets that reference, wait. Fuck, please don't tell me I'm not that old. I'm 24, dude. But please tell me someone gets that fucking reference. Kill Kreitz, dude. Wait, there's a VR chat update for what? Inventory? Wait, what? What is this about? Wait, no, I'm actually kind of curious about this. What is this about?
Guess what? Too slow. Patch time. 2025.2.3. Let's get right into it. First up, inventory. The inventory is a new system designed to help you organize.
I'm so glad this fucking person's not wearing their gooner outfit. This person does like the breakdowns for like VR chat updates, but there was like a couple times where they were like super mega like gooner outfits. I was like, I can't focus on the fucking update with your giant ass tits in the fucking screen, dude. Hold on, where the fuck is it? It was oh my god, what the hell was it? It was one of these, dude. They had like a mega fucking it was this avatar, but it's like it's like so much cleavage. I was like, whoa. Jesus. Yes, this. Like, look at, bro, dude. I cannot believe people say this is a kids game. This is their PR. This is their public representative.
As we mentioned in our update last month, we've
God damn, like Jesus Christ. Dude.
designed to help you organize and manage your emoji, stickers, and other stuff. Yes, I know. We'll get there. Anyway.
Wait, huh?
Is a new system designed to help you organize and manage your emoji, stickers, and other stuff. Yes, I know. We'll get there. Anyway, this change comes along with a bunch of quality of life updates. For example, you can now customize your action menu, binding emoji and stickers to individual slots. We've doubled the amount of emoji and stickers you can have.
Thank fuck. I need to get a lot of like really retarded memes. Like I only have like a select amount of retarded fucking meme shit that I could spray on the fucking on the wall, on the walls. I need a dedicated channel just so people can just post like retarded images that I could just like spray on fucking. I want something stupid. Like this is one of them. This is the one of the pictures that I have. So I could just spray that image on a fucking wall. Dude, I love this image so much.
From 9 to 18 for both. Stickers are no longer a VRChat Plus only feature. Custom stickers, however.
Well, that's gonna be a mistake. It's gonna be a mistake. Oh, that's gonna be a mistake. Please tell me at the very least you have it like gated to like you need to have like a certain level of you need to be like a trusted user. Please isolate that to being a trusted user because that is going to be a fucking mistake.
Main part of VRChat Plus. Speaking of stickers, we've given our default stickers a few new tricks. And of course,
oh, okay. Dude, they did like the TF2 thing. Like there's some TF2 sprays that do shit
inventory
like
menu
that.
itself. That's where you can find all of your stuff. And where you find the inventory menu? At the top of your main menu. Click the chest. The inventory lets us do a lot of cool new things. So let's talk about them. If you've been playing VRChat for a hot second, you probably noticed that we tend to change up the default stickers during seasonal events. That means during stuff like Specality or New Year's Eve, we tossed out a bunch of fun stickers to fit the theme. Well, we had people ask us, could we like always have those? Sure. But what if we gave you more stuff? That's where content drops come in. We'll be handing out content drops during special occasions. When you log into VRChat, you can claim them and get everything inside. What's inside? That depends. It'll probably change a bit as you figure out what people like. We'll talk about or preview what's in these updates, like, well, this. And no, these are not loot boxes. You're not going to get like a marble fade VR cat out of one of these. You just log in and you get them. So what special surprises can you expect in the first one? Correct. You will get the reference cube. It's waiting for you in VRChat.
What?
We've got bees. We've got a brick. We've got Chad VR Rat. There's a lot in there. Trust me. And yes, inventory and
Oh, I can throw bricks at people? That's fucking awesome.
drops both give us the chance to try out other things that don't necessarily have a place anywhere else. We're calling those items. They'll have their own special category. We understand that you're probably going to have a lot of questions about them. Chief among them, when can I make items? The answer is that while we'd like to make that happen one day, it's not going to be anytime soon.
Good. Good. Because my brain immediately runs to what is the most degenerate thing someone is immediately going to run to make into a fucking item. It's like, oh, a fucking cock. It's like, that is the first fucking thing someone's going to do, dude.
At least probably until 2026. Why? To be blunt, there are a lot of potential questions that items bring up. Performance, how do they interact with other systems, moderation, how people use them, and so
Moderation, yeah, because VRChat is very known for their moderation.
basically, we want to make them ourselves and see what happens. If nothing else, it allows us to do a lot of experimentation.
It should stay that way. Honestly, if you're going to have like avatars allowing literally ultimate freedom of avatars is already bad enough for the ecosystem. Like there probably should be some regulation. Okay. I don't mind like gooner avatars or etchy avatars, but like the straight up NSFW shit is just like I don't like the risk that poses because some people just don't give a fuck and they will go into a public lobby regardless if there's kids around and just wear their whole shit out. And it's just like, that's fucked, right? Like that should not be happening. Well, even for Gooner avatars, that shouldn't even be fucking happening. But there's like, I feel like in isolated adult spaces, it's whatever, dude. I don't give a shit. But with the items, just have it restricted. Just have it restricted to just like, oh, you could summon a bat or whatever, or like a fucking cube or a brick or whatever you can throw at people. Like, I don't know.
And trust us, we're really excited for you to see what we've cooked up.
Oh man, that's basically. I don't care about the other fucking bullshit. What else? What else? What is Ace doing? Oh damn, he's going over the whole fucking thing.
Apparently come out previously about grooming or other forms of abuse, and they were disregarded because while they're annoying and they're part of Rachel's group, and one of the consistent patterns I've seen in your spaces is that you and people in there, in order of importance to your community, how you react to it, you rate people who are quote unquote annoying.
Wait, this sounds different.
Are you familiar with this? Are you aware of this pattern?
Wait, this doesn't sound. What is this call?
Higher than people who put children in active danger. Are you familiar with this? Are you aware of this pattern?
Wait, what is this? No. Wait. Hold on. What is this? Oh, this is the end of. Wait, there's no music? Doesn't he play music throughout the whole thing? I'm so fucking confused, bro. Oh my god, my ass, dude. Fucking, this chair sucks, man. What do I do? What do I react to? Oh my god, my eyes. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I could just play a fucking game or whatever. Helldivers. Oh yeah, I've recently got this Peak game. I cannot fucking wait to play it with Noah and shit. Dude, the gang. Sigma. Dude, is there really nothing to fucking... Hold on, let me check my server. Topics. YouTuber husband has a message for cyberbullies after wife dies. Dude, I almost don't want to go over that. I'm already doomer pilled as is. It's loud. Bitch. Okay, I'm still looking for videos and whatnot. The end of Stop Killing Games. Oh, oh yeah, I remember watching the Tyler shit when I was drunk. What the fuck is this? Huh? Kids can't consent to puberty according to creepy leftist VTuber.
Some time ago on Twitter, I saw one of the most...
Oh, this is only 8 minutes though? Dude, I want a long form video. I'm actually kind of curious about this though. Blah? Nope, that's not it. Blah? Yeah, there you go.
mentally ill takes of the month. That being, children cannot consent to puberty.
If minors can't consent to HRT, then they can't consent to puberty. You're just retarded. You're just stupid. Why do people with a platform always feel the need to comment about shit they have no fucking idea about? Why not just talk about things that you actually know so you don't sound retarded?
You know, if a child cannot consent to HRT, then they can't consent to puberty.
Whatever in creation exists
That's a good edit.
without my knowledge exists without my consent.
Now, usually I just break things down from an analytical perspective, but there's absolutely no way to get around the fact that this is incredibly creepy sounding and seems very...
Is it? No, it's just dumb. I wouldn't say creepy. It's just dumb. Like you sound like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? But I want to be clear. I don't think minors can consent to taking body altering medications. I do think that requires parental consent. And that's kind of more or less what they're arguing. And you can say that's creepy. I just think it's uninformed, right? It could be creepy to some people, like the pink pilling shit. That's you're a pedophile. You're a pedophile. If you are like pro the pink pilling shit, you're just a fucking pedo. But with people, because a lot of times people think that minors should be able to just consent to the HRT stuff, and it's just you're arguing that out of a basis of emotion. You are starting off with an opinion that you have and working backwards to try and justify it, right? And you just end up sounding dumb, right? Like, no, I'm sorry. I know it fucking sucks, but you have to bite the bullet. If you want to be a good trans advocate, there are some bullets that you need to, well, hold on. Well, we trans and 41%, whatever okay, don't, you know what I mean though, right? Like, there are some things that you have to accept, right? And that is children cannot consent to body altering medications. They cannot. They can't drink. They can't consent to sex, okay? And they can't do those things because those things can heavily impact their health, okay? Those things can heavily impact their health to a life-altering degree. That is why they can't consent, because they don't possess the mental faculties. They don't possess the intellectual capacity to make complex decisions like that for themselves, right? That also applies to HRT. I know it sucks. I know it would be so much easier if the trans kids can seek out the health that they want. That is just not, like, we can't bend reality just to make that happen. We can't. Children cannot consent to that. They need parental fucking shit, right? Now, if a parent doesn't want to do the research and see if that is a healthy decision for their child or a good decision for their child, and they're bought into the Fox News narrative or whatever the fuck, they listen to a bunch of radio show people and they tell them that HRT is literally going to make your kid's fucking dick explode or whatever. That is just an uninformed parent. If you want to combat people just completely and entirely writing off HRT as a form of treatment for gender dysphoric minors, gender dysphoric children, you have to combat that with education. You can't stomp your fucking feet on the ground and ask people to politely bend reality for you. I'm sorry, you just can't do that. You have to just educate people. Like, look, it is an option. If your child is experiencing gender dysphoria, HRT is an option. Okay. There are other ways of treating gender dysphoria that doesn't have to be HRT and is accepting of the child's identity as a trans person. There are ways you can alleviate dysphoria without having to go down the road of HRT. And also, while I say that in defense of the trans narrative, I want to combat something too. Some people think that if you don't transition at an early age, you're just fucked. And that's just not true. That's just not true. I know plenty of trans people that transitioned late in their lives and they're perfectly fucking fine. They are perfectly fucking fine, right? There's even cases where bro, look at fucking whatchamacallit? Finster. Look at Finster. Finster transitioned later than the average trans person, I would say. The Finster transitioned really, really fucking late. And if you looked at Finster, how they looked before they started leaning into the femboy or non-binary trans shit, right? When you looked at Finster before, they looked like a dude, bro. They looked like a guy. They look like a guy, right? But the thing is, Finster looks the way that they do because not just because of the HRT. There are many other fucking things that Finster did, like dieting, like exercises, right? Those are things that can go towards you developing a female body on top of HRT and shit and whatnot. That also is a major helper. But just because you transition, just because you start transitioning when you turn 18, that doesn't mean that you're fucked. You can still look feminine. You can still look like a woman, right? You can still look the way that you want to. You just have to put effort into it, right? And transitioning at a young age is not a cheat code. It's not going to magically make you more feminine, okay? Just because you started transitioning when you were a kid, that's not going to magically make you look more feminine than every other fucking trans person. That's just not the fucking case.
Very mentally ill. It's so bad that I didn't think it was worth
Anyways,
my
long
time.
tangent.
There were plenty of other YouTubers already talking about
Tech
it.
tones?
Yet something stuck out to me. The more I played it out in my head, the more I realized that this is very telling about these people when it comes to how they think.
These
how they
people?
process the information, especially when it comes to
No, I unironically kind of don't like that narrative. When you say these people, kind of specify, right? I think we need to start specifying. What do you mean these people? You mean like all trans people? Or do you mean like dipshits who dipshit pseudo intellectual trans activists on Twitter, right? Like you need to when you say these people, you kind of need to specify, right?
children and people being trans in general. So let's break this down. It's actually true. Yeah, kids can't consent to puberty. You can't consent to the laws of nature. You didn't sign a contract when you were born into this world agreeing to anything. In fact, you didn't even agree to be born to begin with. If we're going down this same line of logic, you can't even consent to being born at all. And if we're talking about how people can or cannot make informed consent.
Oh my god. Wait, hold on. This is kind of dumb. Is he trying to say like this person's like an anti-natalist? just because they made some offhanded retarded comment
on these topics. Why stop at people can't consent to puberty? Why not follow it all the way through and say people can't consent to being
okay,
born?
well, that's not what they're fucking arguing, dumbass. No offense. To be fair, right? Femiaz would argue the opposite law. She argues that kids taking HRT almost as much as Keffels. It's dumb. That's dumb. That's dumb. There's no evidence to suggest that taking HRT as a child will even cure you of your dysphoria. There's no evidence. And HRT, among many other factors, is what goes into alleviating gender dysphoria. Taking HRT isn't just a instant fucking cheat code to alleviating gender dysphoria. If anything, a huge factor in contributing to gender dysphoria isn't even the trans person's own body. It's the way society treats them. That's where the dysphoria comes from. Right? People have found that when you take a trans person and you put them in an environment that is more accepting of them, regardless of how they look, they are way more fucking happier, way more healthy, and they experience way less dysphoria than any other fucking person. Yeah. So but yeah, that's what I fucking mean, right? And I know this because I've read the fucking studies, and I need to honestly reread some of those studies because it's been a while since I've touched on the fucking trans topic. But I've actually read them. And like anytime I hear supposed pro-trans advocates talk about this fucking subject, it's like you're arguing from emotion. You're arguing entirely from your emotions. You don't actually know what the fuck you're talking about.
So why should they be forced to live? There are plenty of people who don't want to live right now. Their lives are horrible. I mean, life is tough. People get depressed. They hate their lives. Why do we make it illegal to live their own life instead of assisting these people in what they want? Well, if you brought it up to one of these leftists, they would simply say, because one is unhealthy. If you want to...
Well, hold on. Now you're ascribing this person... Now you're ascribing beliefs to this person that they have not said, right? Not even remotely implied. You're just extrapolating that from one comment about an unrelated topic to antinatalism. Like, this video is dumb. This video is kind of dumb.
You are very unhealthy. You need help. You need to go to therapy. You need assistance.
Unless this guy's just using this topic as a segue to talk about antinatalism and how fucking unhinged it is, which yeah, I agree. People can stay and load out for 30 minutes. Wait, what?
To stop thinking that way, to stop feeling that way. You shouldn't want to live your own life, which I would agree with them. The problem is that is the exact same mindset people on the right have towards those who identify as trans. You
What are we doing?
shouldn't feel this way or think this way, and you need help to change that. Just because somebody desires to live their own life, just because they feel that way, doesn't mean it's something that they should be following through with. If we didn't think that way, we wouldn't install nets on the Golden Gate Bridge. But if you were to bring up the side aspects that,
okay.
yeah, kids can't consent to being born, so why don't we assist them with leading their own life?
Yo,
We'll stop
don't
to say,
starve.
well, desiring
I
to end
recognize
your own
that.
life is mentally unwell. While being trans, well, it's perfectly fine, natural, and healthy. How do we
Hold on, I need to rewind a little bit because I wasn't paying
Golden
attention.
Gate Bridge? But if you were to end their own lives, they'll stop to say, well, desiring to end your own life is mentally unwell. While being trans, well, it's perfectly fine, natural, and healthy. How do we know this?
Why don't you have this conversation with them? Why are we shadowbot? Why is this video? I mean, for a video that's so heavily edited and so professionally edited, like, why are we shadowboxing right now? why don't we just actually argue this against this person, right? Why don't we find out what they think about this fucking topic instead of just assuming they believe things without having asked them?
Well, because
And he's saying these people. It's like, well, find me someone who is saying that and argue against that person. Why do we need to invent someone? Why do we need to invent a hypothetical person? Find me someone who is arguing that and argue against that. Why are we putting this fucking VTuber's face and making them say things that they did not fucking say? Why are we doing that? For this video. This is stupid.
while being trans, well, it's perfectly fine, natural, and healthy. How do we know this? Well, because of the experts, because of the studies.
And what we are saying literally aligns with the expert's opinion. But you also do not trust.
This person sounds like Rick Toppin, I'm not gonna lie. Like, wait. Just sounds like Rick Dolphin, dude. Hold on. Load faster, you fucking fat bitch. Rick Toffin quotes.
Your screams are so erotic. With the expert's opinion, but you also do not trust the experts.
It sounds like Rick Toppin, bro. That's so funny.
I don't get it.
If we're talking about mental health in general, let's address the experts on this. And the experts agree with me. The experts with an asterisk. It's like those hand sanitizer bottles. Those hand sanitizer bottles say, this kills 99% of the germs. With a small asterisk, which clarifies, no, it doesn't kill 99% of the germs. It can't. What the hand sanitizer does is it kills 99%.
Well, then, and then this guy's gonna say like, well, these trans people don't read the studies. Well, have you read the studies? Like, are you just being insanely skeptical about a thing instead of actually reading the study and seeing what it says?
Of the few specified germs on the back of the bottle in the tiny print, which is to say, it's a marketing ploy, it's a scam, it's a lie. Just like the bottle of hand sanitizer, it doesn't actually kill 99%.
How does this apply to HRT? This is dumb. This video is actually unironically really stupid. And like I agree with like I think it's healthy to be skeptical about research and ask questions about things, but when it also, like I said about the trans person, you're arguing from emotion, you're arguing from an opinion you already have, and you're working backwards. It sounds like that's what this guy is doing too. Fuck. Where are we freaking? What's watching? Oh my god, you're getting me killed. I'm gonna blame you.
Just like with the
I'm Dark Side
experts,
Phil.
it has a trademark because there is no world consensus on these matters. Who are they referring to when it comes to the consensus? Who are they referring to when it comes to these experts? Not all of them, that's for sure. Especially the countries that still
Wait, what?
on these matters? Who are they referring to when it comes to the consensus? Who are they referring to when it comes to these experts? Not all of them, that's for sure. Especially the countries that still...
Okay, so like the nitpicked few doctors that, you know, that say HRT will make your fucking dick explode. Like, oh, well, not all the experts are. Wait, didn't you just compare to the 99%? So it's like, so no, so I was right. You're just being like needlessly, you're being extraordinarily skeptical about a thing without actually having to look into it and actually, like, it's not reasonable skepticism. It's just skepticism for the sake of, like, you know, obfuscating, right? Like, you're just trying to obfuscate the conversation to talk about something completely fucking unrelated. That went after... Oh, this is about the Cyrus girl VTuber? Oh. But, what was it? Oh, fuck, dude. I should not be playing this fucking game. Fucking video, dude. Shit.
label being trans as a mental disorder. I mean, these people think that the only criteria for being trans is your internal identity has to align with a specific gender. If your internal identity is that of a woman, you're a woman. That's all they need. Meaning, all of these different countries that don't agree with that, well, guess what? They're bigoted. The experts has nothing to do whether your nation's Western, how advanced.
We're not just, oh my God. We're not just talking about, we're talking specifically about gender dysphoria and how to treat it. That is real. You have to contend with that. You can't just say gender dysphoria does not exist. We're talking about gender. This is what I mean. Like the conversation is so polluted on both sides. Both the incessantly pro-trans side, just, they don't read the studies. They don't want to contend with the data. They don't want to contend with they don't want to bite the hard bullets that you got to bite when it comes to discussions around transgenderism and treatment of gender dysphoria. They don't want to have those fucking conversations, and neither do these dipshits. Neither do these like anti-fucking trans dipshits. Neither do they. It's just everyone has a narrative that they want to fucking sell and shove down your fucking throat without having to actually contend with reality. And it's ironic because both sides say the same thing about each other. I hate to do this, like, oh, both sides are retarded, like, centrist fucking take. But unironically, like, as someone who has read the studies, you're just fucking stupid. You trying to sit there and say, well, all you have to do is just say that you're a woman. That's what these people say. These people. Okay, what does that have to do with treating gender dysphoria? What is that? Why are we obfuscating talking about transgenderism, right? And that is a portion of the conversation, right? But that is something completely separate from HRT and treating gender dysphoria. If you want to talk about what is a woman, that's a completely different fucking topic. Why are we talking about it in a discussion when we're talking about gender dysphoria and treating gender dysphoria with HRT? That bears no relevance at all. Like, it's just obfuscation. It's so stupid.
Your nation is? No, it's just if they agree with me. It's the small little cherry-picked group of people that they're quoting as the experts.
You are unironically doing that. You have literally done that in your video. You have cherry-picked at a couple doctors who disagree with HRT and shit like that. Like, what are those doctors' professions? What doctors are you referring to? Do you even know? Have you even read the study that you think you're referencing? Do you like that? Those are the kinds of questions that I would love to ask these fucking people. Do you know what you're referring to? Do you even know what doctors, or are you just referring to what you just heard about the subject online without having actually looked into it? Because I feel like if you're going to reference doctors having different opinions, cite them. Show me that. I know of doctors who disagree with aspects about treating gender dysphoria, like the CAS report, for an example. The person who wrote the CAS report, I don't know their name specifically, okay, oh, you got me. But I've skimmed and read the CAS report, and I agree with it. I think the CAS report is healthy skepticism about treating HRT, and literally all that it says is that people need to have a more open, honest conversation about gender dysphoria and how to treat it, because it seems like nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about, and the studies aren't as cut and dry as a lot of people would lead you to believe, okay? It's not just as simple as you take HRT and your gender dysphoria is magically cured. That's not the case. That is not what's happening, okay? Taking HRT isn't an end-all, be-all solution to gender dysphoria. It's just not, okay? And that's something that the pro-trans side does not want to contend with, because that hurts the narrative, okay? Because they somehow think that invalidates gender dysphoria. It doesn't. It doesn't. Gender dysphoria is a literal, real fucking thing. It is a real mental issue that people go through. And there are multiple ways of treating that. It's not just with HRT. But again, this fucking dipshit, it's like, well, what is a woman? That's like me having a conversation about, you know, how to best build a bridge. And someone's like, well, can we define a bridge? What do you mean by bridge? Like, are you helping? Do you think you're fucking helping, retard? Pseudo intellectual fucking dipshit. Do you think you're adding something to the conversation by asking that question?
Deceitful. Because how do we know which experts we should trust? Well, it's very easy according to them. If these doctors disagree
According
with
to
me,
them,
they're
it's just we're shadowboxing. This is shadowboxing the
bigoted.
video.
Well, if anybody disagrees with me, if they come to different conclusions, we're going to assume that they came to those different conclusions because of their bias. Whenever these experts
Which
come out
is
and say,
okay. No, I agree with this. This isn't well. I'm gonna say I agree with this, and I'm gonna caveat this has fucking hardly anything to do with treating gender dysphoria. Okay, it's somewhat related, but it doesn't exactly have to do with it.
bigoted. Well, if anybody disagrees with me, if they come to different conclusions, we're going to assume that they came to those different conclusions because of their bias. Whenever these experts come out and say,
the pro-trans side does this all the fucking time. They do this all the fucking time. They like anytime a doctor has something contrary to the narrative that they already have in their head. Anytime a doctor says something that sort of contradicts that, they get really defensive about it and they just write them off as complete bigots. And I look into what these people are saying, and sometimes it is honestly like schizophrenic doctors like who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like they're a nurse who specialize in the treatment of elderly people, and they're being like cited as experts on on treating gender dysphoria. I'm like, what? Like, you don't know what the fuck that is not your expertise. Why is this person being treated as an expert when they did not go to school to treat gender dysphoria? They are not a psychologist. Like, but they're being referenced that, and you also sometimes you'll look into their past and they're like, oh, this person actually unironically believes Shungite like blocks bad aura or some shit. Like, fucking dumb fucks. Those people do exist, but there are doctors that promote healthy skepticism about HRT for minors and are just simply asking the question is like, how are these studies good enough to justify HRT for minors? And they look into it and they're very, very objective about it. It's like, well, we're dealing with small sample sizes. We don't have any longitudinal studies as of yet. And those are the major factors that are working against this being pushed off as a form of treatment for HRT for gender dysphoria for minors. And that's it. And they are right. They are right. Okay. That is something you have to contend with. They are fucking right. It would be good if we have a larger sample size and we have a longitudinal study. That would help. But we don't have that. So you can't sit there and say, well, if you deny HRT for minors, you are killing that child. That is stupid. That is dumb. And that is a narrative that pollutes the pro-trans side. And it's fucking annoying that they do this. And they write people off who just ask who are legitimately, genuinely, in good faith, in good earnest, just asking questions and promoting healthy skepticism. Not out of any bias, not out of any any bigotry. It's just nobody wants to contend with reality on either side. It's just annoying.
my research has led me to believe that this behavior is not healthy. Everybody would just say, well, he's biased. Because
And even then, like any good scientist can tell you, no study is absolute. No study, just because a study exists, that doesn't mean that what the study is saying is to be assumed reality for every single case, because there's always going to be outliers. There's always going to be outliers. Like, HRT isn't going to be the end all be all for everybody. It might help a lot of people. That's what some studies do say. It tends to help alleviate gender dysphoria, but it's also being paired along with other treatment processes. So how do we know we don't know how much HRT contributes to the overall well-being of trans people. We don't know, because we haven't tested isolating that. We haven't isolated that study. We don't exactly know how much HRT helps alleviate gender dysphoria. We don't know exactly, right? We just know that generally if you go on HRT and you have a support group and you have supportive family members, that tends to alleviate gender dysphoria. But we don't know how much each factor is a contributing factor. And I've seen studies that say actually having a support group is the most important. It is more important than the HRT itself. Being surrounded with people that support you through your process of transitioning and support you through your process of realizing and respecting you, respecting your gender identity, and treating you as the gender that you see yourself as, this gender that you are, that helps way more. That helps way more. So, but again, like, it's just
of his beliefs. We know that he's against trans people and he hates trans people because he published the study saying that being trans is not healthy.
It's almost worthless going over this fucking video too, because it's just like, I'm halfway through this fucking video and I already get the sense that you're not interested in having an actual honest conversation. You just want to obfuscate from. You're just there. You're just there to, I don't know, just repeat the fucking narrative, like the anti-trans narrative or whatever the fuck. It doesn't feel like you're promoting healthy skepticism.
We can't trust any of his findings. It's circular reasoning. These people don't care about the experts. These people don't care about studies.
That's true. Neither does the anti-trans side. Neither do they. Neither do they. Blah.
It's only a matter of, do you agree with me or not? That's the criteria for them.
Because and I say this, and I'm not just gonna say this and like just blurt it out and not clarify. They don't care because they're just there to, well, I was told that this is grooming children. I was told about this narrative of people trying to groom children, and that HRT doesn't actually help, and blah blah blah. And where you're hearing this? Oh, I heard it from some like radio show, some Joe Rogan platform, some random scientist guy. I don't really know his credentials. I don't even know if they're valid credentials. I don't know anything about this guy. I just like Joe Rogan, and I watched Joe Rogan, and he platformed this guy, and I just blindly believed him. Like, okay, cool. Like, so, but you think know what the fuck you're talking about? Have you read any? The telltale sign of someone, if they actually give a fuck about the subject, is if they're talking about studies, not people, studies. If you're talking about studies and what's inside those studies, that's a telltale sign of, okay, you actually give a fuck. Okay, you actually care about the subject. You're telling me what is inside some studies. You're telling me what some studies are saying, and you are correct on that. You actually give a fuck about the subject. Congratulations. Because a lot of people just get their information from other YouTubers or other fucking podcasters, and they just run with that. And it's just, no. Actually do research.
If you conducted a study showing that cutting your dick and balls off is bad, we're going to assume you're a bigot. Who cares on how you conducted the study? Who cares on what you actually said?
And this is just hasty. This is a hasty generalization fallacy. Like,
you're a bigot because of your bad findings. And we don't trust bigots. We trust the experts. Trademark, asterisk.
It's just be skeptical, with no end in sight for skepticism and just blindly believing the counter narrative. Yep, that's this video.
Anyways, my evidence for this, it's the circular reasoning right back there. But I must be honest, I did not come up with this myself.
How about just like bring up a study or something? Like bring up a study and cite a study that says the opposite.
From Mentis Wave, he's made a lot of videos talking about the left, and he talks about many of these things in depth. I'm simply applying what he says to one real world
situation. And I hate this. I hate how this is a left or right issue. Like these kids' lives do not matter to the pro-trans sides or the anti-trans sides. These kids, you are just a means for us to fucking bicker about retarded shit. That is it. We're not here to actually come to a conclusion. We're not here to make you happy. We're just here to argue our political beliefs. That's it. Why doesn't anybody actually give a fuck about treating children who suffer from gender dysphoria? Why? I want an answer to that. Can we answer that question, Mr. whatever the fuck this guy's name is, Remnant777? Can we answer why does your side not give a fuck about finding an actual solution? Why are you just here to fucking jerk yourself off for 8 minutes about how much of a fucking skeptic you are? without any interest in engaging with actual studies. Why?
Another thing to take notice of whenever you discuss these,
I'm parroting someone
people are
else's
gonna
words,
cite
yeah.
Studies. They're going to act
Nice
as
little
if you're
Freudian slip
paranoid or
there.
unreasonable if you doubt any of them. You just don't agree with them because you're a bigot. There is absolutely no left-wing bias. The only reason
Most people are just uninformed. That's what I've come to learn is that when people are parroting something like an anti-trans narrative, 99% of the time you could trust they're just uninformed, right? Like they haven't read the studies and they're just getting their shit for some random fucking guy on the internet that they have no idea. They don't know anything about this guy. They don't know anything about him. They just know that, hey, he's saying the thing that I already am thinking in my head. Wow, that must mean I'm right.
why there are so many studies confirming left-wing narratives is because the left agrees with the science, which is a load of bullshit, and it's empirically
It is
proven
bullshit.
to be
Yeah, we'll
so.
give them that.
Everybody who's right-wing, you have to know this. Know the grievance studies affair. This was a study conducted by left-wing liberal professors. These people submitted fake papers and studies to left-wing academic journals. They talked about gender studies, they talked about critical race theory, perfect thing for what we're talking about today. And they were accepted, peer-reviewed, and published. Many of them were rejected though. Why? Well, because they weren't left-wing enough. Even
How do we know that? Wait, what the fuck? How do we know that? Like, well, I mentioned. Well, hold on, not to pause, Andy. How do we know that? He's gonna say it. He's gonna say how we know that.
though all of them were fake. All of them were made up. But it didn't stop.
Wait, they were. Wait, hold on. They were accepted. So these people submitted fake studies. They were accepted and approved of, but most of them didn't make it through because they weren't left winging. Doesn't make any sense.
And published. Many of them were rejected. though.
Published.
Why?
Many of them were rejected.
Why?
Okay.
Well, because they weren't left-wing enough. Even though all of them were fake. All of them were made up. But it didn't stop them from getting the seal of approval. The seal of
But you just said they were. You just said that they were rejected. You said most of them were rejected. What the fuck? What?
approval for every Reddit retard to cite. These are the experts for you. These are how
I shit you not, dude. He's just yapping. He's not showing this. He's not showing this. Can you show this? I mean, I don't doubt that someone might have done this. Someone might have tried to test how easy it is to pass off fake studies with which, by the way, pass off fake studies to who? To who? Right? Like, I want to know the details about this. What is it? What is he saying?
It was a study conducted by left-wing liberal professors. These people submitted fake papers and studies to left-wing
What is this study called? Surely it's in the description. No, it's not in the description. Fuck. Where can I want to learn. I want to learn about this. Maybe you're right. Maybe he is right. Maybe Remnant 77, Glup Shido, fucking Armored Skeptic clone, number 50,469. Maybe he's right. I want to know. Can I know? Can I find this study? Can I read it?
academic journals. They talked about gender studies. They talked about critical race theory.
Can I? What if I search it up? Submitting fake studies. Fake studies study. See, here's the I don't fighting fraud and academic, like this is what I'm looking at, dude. The situation has become more appalling. Fake scientific papers push research credibility to crisis point. The last year, 10,000 sham papers had to be retracted by academic journals, but experts think this is just the tip of the iceberg. So it sounds like they're just they're finding out that these studies were faked and are removing it. Is that revealing of the left-wing bias? Wouldn't they just keep it there? Why would people be looking and seeing if studies are fake and then removing them if the left was trying to keep people lucidated and just blindly wouldn't they just keep it up? Tens of thousands of bogus research papers are being published in journals. Oh, in journals. Okay, well, they're not being like are they being officially published? In an international scandal that is worsening every year. Scientists have warned medical research is being compromised. Drug development. Wait, where's the trans? Okay. Gender? So it's not this article. What is he referring to? 20 fake papers to journalists. Wait. 20 fake papers to journals. Oh, journalists. I thought it said journalist. IFL Science? I don't even know what is this? Whether it's a paper on the purely... Well, hold on. Easy. Trans. Okay, here we go. This might be it. Gender? Doesn't mention gender, though. Is it short? Is this a short article? Fuck me, dude. God. Oh, wait. Read some of my previous comments. Yeah, that's like confirmation bias, like 101. Like, he just says left-wing liberal to liberal professors. I think he just said a little of that before. Yeah, he did. Again, this is a big hurrah. Is we sent an already biased source studies. They agree with them. It'd be like Keffels is saying we sent 100 fake papers to right wingers and they rejected because it's not based. Yeah, or some dumb shit like that. Even he cites as 100% when scientific papers all is present in hypothesis and a conclusion and how that conclusion was reached. Yeah, exactly. Like, you could fake data, but you would have to like make sure the data matches with every single fucking thing. And that the data like I don't know how the process exactly goes about verifying data, because you could probably just fudge numbers and like nobody would know. I think I don't know exactly how like journalistic research papers for colleges and stuff like that. I don't know exactly how they verify the data. I don't know if they do. I would assume that they do, but I don't know exactly how. Anyways, whether it's a paper on the purely fictional mid-chlorians or a scientific proof based on a Star Trek episode, there have been a few examples of clearly fabricated studies finding their way into shady or predatory journals in the past year or so. Recently, a physicist, a philosopher, and a medieval historian decided to take things a step further. Oh, this sounds like what he's talking about. The trio submitted 20 fake papers to what they described as the best academic journals in the field of culture and identity studies. They then described their progress in an article published on Arrail magazine. Cool. Awesome. Can't fucking read it. Their intentions to unmask the sometimes shoddy standards accepted for publishing in certain academic spheres. Scholarship based less upon finding truth and more upon attending to social grievances has become firmly established, if not fully dominant within these fields, and their scholars increasingly bully students, administrators, and other departments into adhering to their worldview. The author Helen, yeah, that sounds totally not biased. I mean, well, hold on, it might be true. Helen Pluckrose, James Lindsay, and Peter Boghossian wrote. Private. I wish I could fucking read their shits. Papers varied in subject and ridiculousness, from dog parts are rape condoning spaces to straight men's decisions to not self-penetrate using sex toys or signs of homosexuality and transphobia. To educators should counter discrimination by making more privileged students cite. Wait, so it doesn't even sound like that this was specifically about trans shit. This just sounds like it was just a hodgepodge of a bunch of random dumb shit. So it's just more of just, look, some of these people created fake studies and most of them didn't make it through, but some of them did, and that must mean that you can't trust any research papers. I guess? To be fair, I don't think he's saying that. But I don't know what you would be arguing, because your entire video comes off as like, well, the left thinks that this thing is happening and you can't trust studies. So get raped, liberal. Like, okay. That's like not an argument. And I think he doesn't realize that a backhanded compliment that the liberal researchers would do this to see if their objective bias is compromised, which is a valid criticism he's making. Yeah. Meanwhile, the problem varied from poorly thought out methodologies, bad use of data. Wait, hold on. Okay. Should counter discrimination by making more privileged students sit on the floor in chains. Meanwhile, problems varied from poorly thought out methodologies, bad use of data, ethically questionable practices, and ideologically motivated conclusions. Conclusions? Yeah, conclusions. There were just 3 rules. We'll focus almost exclusively upon ranked peer-reviewed journals in the field. We will not pay to publish any papers. And if we are asked at any point by a journal editor or reviewer, but not a journalist, if any paper we wrote is an attempted hoax, we will admit it. Okay. Surprisingly, despite the utter absurdity of many of their submissions, 7 out of the 20 were accepted by journals, and 4 of those have since been published online. Okay. Is that like high? 7 more were under review. Okay, to be fair, 7 more were under review or consideration, and 7 more are under review. It just sounds like, well, we haven't even got around to looking at it. And 2 had been resubmitted after some editing. The remaining 6 had been dumped for fatally flawed and beyond repair, but had the hoax not been cut short, it's certainly possible that more than 20 would have made it online. That more than 20 would have made it online? What's more, the research says that they received 4 invitations to peer review other papers on account of their exemplary scholarship. As we agreed, we started to realize that this is just about anything can be made to work as long as it falls within moral orthodoxy and demonstrates understanding of existent literature, they added. So it's just kind of more or less just bullshitting like phrases or whatever. But the response from the academic community has been mixed. Yasha Monk, a political scientist at Harvard, praises the enterprise. I would say, yeah, it's a good thing that they're doing that. They're testing, the validity of things. Were the 7 posted on all journals though? No, they submitted to a random assortment of journals, right? It says it right here, right? Best academic journal. So it wasn't just one journal. It was like multiple random academic journals. While others, including Jacob Levy, a professor of political theory at McGill University, and Kieran Healy, an associate professor of sociology at Duke University, were clearly unimpressed and criticized the methodology. I wish I could read it. Oh, wait, no, it says right here. Okay. I'm so utterly unimpressed by the fact that an enterprise that relies on a widespread presumption of not fraud can be fooled some of the time by 3 people with PhDs who spent 10 months deliberately trying to defraud it. To be fair, they sound like they varied from like absolutely ridiculous to somewhat confirmation bias sort of like thing. It's like a study that is supposed to agree with a pre-existing narrative or some shit. I agree. I think like something this happens, but with psychologists, yeah. The write-up is bad. They elid? What the fuck does that word mean? What if I do this? Omit. Okay. Wow, I learned a new word today. They omit what was published and rejected. Field journals rejecting everything with those that accepted. They select the most polite comment rejection reviews. There's no systematic overview summarizing what happened. If that's what's missing, then yeah, that's a good criticism, I would say. So I mean, okay, no, this is what he's referring to, but this is not like the slam dunk that he fucking thinks it is. At all, like not even close.
Very perfect thing for what we're talking about today. And they were accepted, peer-reviewed, and published.
Only 7 of them. And wait, accepted, peer-reviewed, and published. You say that like all of them were. Only 7 of them were, okay, were accepted. 4 were published, right? That's what the article said, 4? 4 were published?
Many of them were rejected, though. Why? Well, because they weren't left-wing enough.
And just to be clear, we read that article and that was not the case. So this is just a lie.
Even though all of them were fake. All of them
He's just lying.
were made up. But it didn't stop them from getting the seal of approval. The seal of approval for every Reddit retard to cite.
Three of
These are
them.
the experts for you.
And they seemingly were a random assortment of just dumb shit, right? It wasn't specifically about trans people.
These are how people come to their consensus. Now, I'm not saying to be paranoid and not believe anything you read, but be mindful. There is a very prominent, well-studied left-wing bias in academia.
This is the irony in what you just said.
And these people are hiding the truth. There is very much
Irony.
publication bias, and it's very left-wing. Earlier, it was actually
There is a dipshit right-wing YouTuber bias, actually.
more right-wing. It's very interesting. Everybody likes to talk
There's
about
that
how
too, right?
penguins are
There's that
gay.
too,
I'm sure
right?
you've heard of it. Penguins are gay. But the story behind it is the original researcher that discovered this didn't actually share the results for quite a while. It was very controversial at the time. The idea
Again, just needless, just over exaggerative skepticism. It's like, well, the liberals say trust the studies, which is a dumb argument. You shouldn't just blindly trust the study. You should read the study, or at the very least, read the addendum, or not the addendum. What is it? What is the abstract? Read the abstract. At the very least, read the fucking abstract, and see if it's peer reviewed. You know, if you have the time. Well, here's the thing: most people don't have the time or like interest to do that, because it is just a lot of having to sift through intellectually fart huffy wording. But yeah, like you just saying, well, you can't trust all studies. It's like, sure, but generally speaking, we can trust it if the data is true, right? like if something is going to be peer reviewed, I don't even think, did they say some of them were no, wait, hold on. The article didn't even say those things were peer reviewed. Did they? Will focus almost exclusively upon ranked peer-reviewed journals in the field. Okay. They're talking about the journals, not the things that they submitted. They were invited to peer review other papers. They were not peer reviewed. He's just lying again. These papers were not peer reviewed. They were not. Wait, I remembered something like that also happened recently with the headline that claimed that right-wingers are more politically diverse. I'll send the topic in decent read. Okay, I'll read it later.
that penguins could be gay, and he was horrified by his findings. He thought the public shouldn't know about this, and he didn't publish it for a very long time. He hid his results because, one, it disagreed with what he wanted to believe.
I'm like tempted to leave a fucking but there's no point. There's no point. This guy, there's no point in leaving a comment because a dipshit like this obviously doesn't fucking care to have an actual fucking conversation about this topic.
And two, the public at the time.
He's just there is like, open up, fucking inbred right wingers. It's time to gobble up your fucking flop, gobble up your fucking goy chow. Open up, say indigo, choo choo train, choo choo, into your mouth it goes, because that is what I'm here to do. I'm just here to fucking hand feed you a fucking a plucked narrative, so I could get money. Haha.
Liked it. We have.
Wait, hold on. I actually find that really ironic. You're sitting here and saying, well, we can't trust studies or whatever because liberal stupid. How can I trust what you're saying? How can I trust what you're saying? How do I know that you're telling me the truth? How do we know that we're not just a brain in a vat experiencing a simulation? How do we know that? Dude, we'll never know.
Records of this happening.
Is it being insanely skeptical about every single tiny little thing to conveniently argue or to try and make people distrusting of things without actually like being skeptical? Because hold on, I was about to make a fucking meme, but there's being skeptical and then there's just blindly distrusting something. Okay, you're not promoting skepticism. Okay, Skepticism is basically when you're like, huh, I wonder if that's true. I don't really know if that's true. Let me go look and see if that is true. That's what skepticism. Skepticism is like, I don't know if it's true or false. You are basically heavily insinuating that it's just false and wrong because some studies are bullshit. That's it. You're not here to be skeptical. You're here to fucking jerk yourself off of denying reality.
But we're supposed to assume that
Which
it's
is
not
ironic,
happening today
considering your
with the
position
left-wing
on trans
bias.
people.
No, it only happened in the past when the right was in power. It only happens when the right was in charge of academia. But when the left is in charge of academia...
This guy just sounds like Andy Pants. I'm fucking done. I'm just done with this fucking dumbass. It's like I instantly, as soon as you started talking like that, I'm like, oh, this is Andy Pants. I'm out. Fuck off. Like, you're like just retarded. You're just stupid. Why do I bother actually trying to like critically engage with what these dipshits say? They don't even critically engage with the shit that comes out of their own mouth. Why should I waste my fucking time? I just wasted my time reading that article. I could have just said, this guy sounds like Andy Pants, retarded dipshit, goodbye. And like not have wasted my fucking time with a dumb fuck. Those leftists lead real book burners. Yeah, leftists are real book burners. They're not the leftists are the real gay Nazi pedophiles. Yep. True. Based in truth. Fact checked by true American patriots. Anyways, it's about that time. I'm gonna go fucking drink. Because that's what I do. Me, alcoholic. That's what I do. I just drink. What did I miss? You could rewind. I was watching some fucking Andy Pants fucking clone. Gay? What do you mean gay? It's about to be 11, bro. Okay? I like to drink before midnight, okay? Because that's when people tend to be up drinking and having fun.